Aha, we are live.
Hello, people.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last Sunday Squad. I'm not sure if we're live on every particular medium yet, but as it goes live, we shall find out. My friends, welcome back to our little show where three puppets made by Geppetto are making their way to become human in the city of Tegeste Lipo. Let me introduce our guests, our stars first, although we do have a guest upcoming in this show. So let's start with KT Hanna.
Hi, I'm Katie Hanna.
How are you doing, Kate?
I'm here. It's been one of those weeks, and I can't English, and I can't everything is like a haze, and I don't know. If I
It's
didn't know
okay.
better, I'd think I
As
was
as
stoned, but I'm
writers,
not. I think,
as writers, we know that English can be hard,
dude,
and
it
thus
so is.
we
But
must.
yeah, I'm doing well. My little book is doing well,
Yes,
and I'm still in mild shock from that. So
we're going to
yeah.
talk a little bit about these as we introduce everyone. I might if it's okay with you all, I might do a little bit moment on each. So I read Library System Reset, Overdue, KT's first novel in this series. I gave it a glowing review, unbelievably well deserved, and it's doing really really well in its first 3 to 4 weeks. And yeah, go pick it up. And well done, KT, showing it there. Next we have the inimitable Rachel Neekirk.
Hi. So this week was a big week. I just finished edit for book 3,
Yes.
and it's the end of the trilogy. That's the whole thing. And I think when I was submitting it, it didn't really feel real yet because I was in such a deadline haze. But I just finished the edit there, and I had a little bit of a cry when I was done. Just sending these characters off. It'll be a contained trilogy, and I had a little bit of a fucking cry. So it was a good. It's been a cathartic. It's been a good week. It's been a good week.
My only thing that I can say on this, and that I didn't say in the other glowing review of Rachel's first novel, Calamity, is that the Knights of Eternity trilogy, from what I've read so far, has started out with a bang and will continue to have sort of rippling explosions of drama. Incredibly good characterization, and Desecrate is going to be coming out when, Rachel?
Oh, that's it. By the time our next session hits, my second book will be out. Holy shit!
And I'm so excited to read it. My
I'm so
goodness.
excited. So yeah, I'm having a good time. Brian, sorry, I'm just laughing at Brian. Just looks so fucking happy to be alive.
But here's the thing: is that he is in his heart. Brian is very tired. He's been traveling, but that doesn't mean that he can't introduce himself with style as ever. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian J. Nordon, the man himself.
So, no, I'm not going to be all chipper and stuff. Rachel, fuck you. Because I have to start my edits for book 3 now. And you're being like, I'm so happy. I had a wee cry. I'm sending all my characters off. Bitch, I'm semester 1 of a 3-year degree and it's 3
Yeah.
books. Like, we did the calculations. If I end up doing a book 4 and it's like in between semesters, that's 21 books of Quest Academy.
Well, I'm not
In
the dumb
total.
bitch that did like one fucking 3 books a semester now, am I?
Well, to be fair, that's kind of self-inflicted. It is just a little bit, but they're good books, so you should just be happy to be writing them. They're awesome.
Oh, I love writing them. It's just like, the
It's a
Wow.
wee
lot.
cry is going to
Yeah.
happen in 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, so it's oh, it's so cathartic. I love
Oh
it. I'm so
God.
happy. And it's just like, no, bitch, I don't get that. I will never get that. It's like, and if you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll try something else, and everyone's like, get the fuck back in your lane.
Yeah.
You're writing Quest Academy. You did the shit with wildcards. You're not allowed to do this ever again. And I'm like, okay. So,
So,
yeah, I'm
Again,
Brian. Having a great time.
self-inflicted. All of this is self-inflicted,
oh
Brian.
God, isn't it? We're all we're all suckers for punishment. You realize that, right?
Wait, do I get Leviathar's grace? For, like, because this
Actually,
is... Yeah.
Actually, do you know what Abdurak? For anyone listening, I wrote Abdurak in Baldur's Gate 3. He would absolutely, yeah, he would give it to you simply, but you gotta relish it a bit more. You're being a bit too whiny now. You gotta really dig into it, then you'll get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
do want to say, Mr. Jack Field's Scarlet Citadel is just fucking amazing. the prose in that just makes me want to like curl up with the book in a blanket in front of a fireplace and my coffee.
You're very kind, Katie. Yes,
It's I'm halfway through. I'm getting there. I just have not had a brain for reading lately, and I'm like, oh, I've got to keep reading. This is good. And then I'm like, I want to sleep.
yes,
I'm so tired all the time.
For reading it, Katie. That's but before I pivot towards myself for a very brief introduction, I wanted to just take a quick moment because I talked about Katie's novel Overdue and Rachel's Calamity. For Brian, I think I can't really talk about it at length because its results speak for themselves. Brian has enjoyed a meteoric rise to success and popularity, and the truth is, it's not just because he is a talented author, it's because he is a sensational one. And I think that it's just there in the popularity itself, and also just from I suppose a personal perspective, I also just like how Brian engages with the craft. Great writer of characters, and even though the guy, we were kind of slagging him a little bit for taking so long to be in such a short period of time, and yet any of his readers will attest the time flies. These are page turner books, and that's the best compliment, I think. So yes, I'm Jack Fields, and as KT so generously said, I wrote Scarlet Citadel, and it is the first of the Walking Shadow trilogy, and its second novel, which is called Scarlet Blade, is going to be coming back to me for edits. It's much longer than book one, tens of thousands of words longer, and it takes place over a much shorter period of time, and was a very tense and suspenseful novel with kind of lovely kind of thriller elements to it. So I was excited about that, and I'm getting lovely reviews for Scarlet Citadel as well, which has made me very happy. I wonder, I can probably fetch a copy of that by the time the game ends, and I'll do the sort of very naughty sort of self-promo. We also are going to be joined by our guest star, Rose Reynolds. And Rose, I believe, also writes underneath the moniker of TJ Reynolds, I believe, but certainly Rose is the moniker that you should be referred to through the game, and you shall meet her character presently. But for the moment, we rejoin. Is there anything else that anyone wants to say, or shall we
Yeah,
dive into
the other
things?
thing I would just say, just like if looking up Rose's pen name, TJ Reynolds, just be very careful when searching for First Fist online, because other things might appear. Have fun with that.
And if that's what you're looking for, there's no judgment here. But just make sure you're looking for the right fist. That's all.
Catch you in the long grass.
Hey.
Sorry.
Title of your sex tape?
Which one? There's 21 of them.
Oh my God. Brian, no.
8 years.
Brian, no.
Over 8 years, my goodness.
Yeah, I should stop narrating them. Anyway, Jack, by the way, I have a strange request for you. For, as we do these campaigns, I know you come up with character voices, probably meticulously and all this sort of stuff. I want one of the characters to have the voice of the barbarian in your TikTok videos. I was not prepared for how much I liked him. It was kind of like a Grog, but like Kronk. Like it just had all of. It was Kronk, but it was just great. And I was watching, and I was like, "How is this voice coming from you?" Like, because it's just like, I just imagine like the sweater, like, just like crossed around your neck, and then that voice comes out, and I was like, "What is this?"
Okay, in that case, I also have a request. The noise that the wizard makes when the barbarian shakes him, that like, can you do that at some point in the show? That's my request.
I get them both out of the way. I'll do them later. Yeah, it was. Oh God, I know exactly the thing you're talking about when the
when he does that, when he shakes him. Yeah, I want that noise at some point.
That was the funnest TikTok to shoot. Yes, I think all these people are on social media as well. You can find it. We'll plug it all at the end. For the moment, let us get into things. I think we are live on everything. Fabulous. Okay. So, to do a brief recap, the players' 3 puppets, Leonora, Etienne, and Silver, are the fashioned children of Geppetto, and Geppetto has been banished years and years ago from the city of Tegeste Lipo, Tigeste Leepo, and it is a fabulous city that was ruled over by the Wicked Witch, although she was ousted by the Fable coalition, who were led by powerful individuals like Bernard Wolfe and Red Riding and a few Jonathan Croak and a few other characters. These figures banished Geppetto and took over his puppet army, and as the players have unfortunately heard, Geppetto desperately wants to get back to his home to oust those fabled coalition members, and to re-establish a kind of peace and equality and sort of delightful equanimity within the city, while giving these 3 the gift of human life so that they can experience all of these wonderful things. So yes, the players have had a myriad of adventures getting there. They've encountered goblins, they've encountered the Tin Man, they've encountered Bluebeard and all of his decapitated wives who were summoned back for vengeance by a necromancer. The last of his wives managed to survive against him, and
The
we've had
last
some
of his
marvelous-
wife, big fan. Jean, big fan of Jean. 10
How
out of
big?
10.
How big?
Oh, Leonora would abandon all of you for Jean. She would go running off into the fucking sunset with Jean. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And she'd admit it.
Yes, and this is the thing, is that it would be reasonable. It would be like you're saying what we're all thinking. Okay, so at this point, as the characters have followed the almost yellow brick road towards Tegeste Lipo, it's sometime a few days have passed, and as night begins to fall, there's a rain, and as the rain moves into the warm summer air, it summons up a mist from the ground, and the clouds are low drifters that hang grey and claustrophobic, like enormous tombs of diaphanous wool, so impenetrably thick. And yet, as the players advance, and as you all make your way with your father in the cart pulled by an enormous gingerbread soldier, you have a merry atmosphere because you're about to reach the fabled city itself. My friends, Geppetto turns around to Etienne first and says, "And Etienne, since we're on such a jolly subject as to humanity, what are you looking forward to most about becoming a real woman?"
I want to eat passion fruit.
Yes, we had established this, my dear. Is it
I want a passion fruit boba. That's what I want.
a bourbon?
Boba. A boba. A passion fruit boba tea. I've read about them in books and fairy stories. And there's little explodey pearls that explode passion fruit in your mouth. I've got to have that shit, dude.
A boba. I see.
Yep.
I
To
see.
drink.
Okay.
I want to be able to taste stuff properly. Yeah.
My daughter, when it
Food.
comes to developing such tastes as a young woman, it may be that when you try passion fruit for the first time, it does not live up to your expectations. Perhaps it will.
Oh, it will. I'm confident, Father.
You do not.
I'm 100% confident, Father.
I see.
I'm going to fucking love that stuff.
Your certainty is
Yep.
compelling, my daughter.
I know, right?
Yes, you do know. And that is what is brilliant about you.
Thank you.
I wish I had your certainty. I have my own trepidations, but we shall move on now. Where is, this damnable mist is as thick as milk. Leonora, my daughter.
Oh, I'm here, Dad.
Hello. I almost lost sight of you. You had me worried. Tell me, what are you looking forward to most about being a young woman?
Well, how do I put this in fatherly terms? You know how Etienne is excited for something to explode in her mouth? I am too, but it's a different kind of something.
Geppetto, you notice that Geppetto has quite a bushy mustache.
Mhm.
it's like almost like the walrus style of
Ah.
pale whiskers. And for a moment, it quivers, and then he says, "Silver, my boy, my dear boy." And then he says, he sort of shakes himself and says, "Oh, no, Leonora, perhaps crudities aside,
Of course. I would
do
never
you
be
think
crude,
that
father.
romance will be difficult for you? Have you any questions about it or things you're worried about?"
Well, I mean, joking aside,
Yeah.
um, I am. You know, I've never passionately hugged anyone, shall we say, and it's nerve wracking. It's a little bit nerve wracking, but I'm sure. And I really appreciate, Dad, that you're offering to give me any tips if I have questions. But I think I'd rather, drown
Oh, I
myself as
wouldn't dream
well.
of giving you tips about passionately hugging.
Tips.
But what I would provide is perhaps some romantic advice. Though sometimes affairs of the heart can be fleeting and sort of sticky sojourns, it is possible that they can be long-lasting and meaningful, and be open to that while also exploring yourself, your new womanhood, and your life. You must find out what suits you, my daughter, and let no one tell you what suits you. That's for you to figure out.
So, as not Lenora, as Rachel, and the phrase sticky sojourn will live in my head rent free. Thanks for
I
that.
was stopped at tip, giving you tips. Like I was done.
Nice.
Also, you cannot tell me that with that voice, Geppetto did not fucking get some a lot. Like you
Oh,
cannot tell me.
Daddy's been down.
Oh my god.
He's I was not always the
He
puppet
was not
strings
always a
were
toy
always-
maker.
Yeah. Yes, the
So wait, no,
I-
no, no,
I'm-
no. You're telling me that the man who, instead of finding love and having natural children, was like, you know what, I'm gonna and make my own, and then literally just lives by himself with 3 puppets, one that wants sex, one that wants fruit, and the other that hates himself. Like,
Here's the thing. I feel like there's some sinister overtones here. I'm a loving father, but I'm not a loving father.
no, Daddy, no.
Brian, never make that noise again on this stream. Don't you dare.
Oh,
Please continue.
Brian, I'm getting a thing that you're a fair bit lower than the others. If there's any way to up your lovely sounds, just so we can hear your dulcet tones, but no worries if it can't be immediately adjusted. Yes, and yes. Look, moving on swiftly. Silver, my sweet boy, not like that. It's the case that I would like to talk to you about being a young man, and oh dear, perhaps you could tell me what you're looking forward to most. Leonora cannot stop laughing beside us. The mist is swirling around as if there are birds flapping through it. She's waving her arms, windmilling. Please help. Please, for God's sake.
Okay, so first of all, is the mic better?
Oh yes, I can. Oh yes, very nice.
Okay, so first thing is, I'm creating the mist.
You're creating more mist to join the mist.
Yeah, just like now. This is the thing. Like, hope is a fallacy. Okay, like you're there. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, what do we achieve? What am I excited about of becoming human? The finality of life. How quickly will I erode as a warforged versus as a human? And I look at this of this certainty that Etienne feels when like she will love passion fruit. I've been studying for so long and all I have is more and more questions. All of the certainties I thought existed are wrong. And I'm now in this big wide world and I only have more and more questions. And the idea that by becoming human, I then only have a certain time limit to get those answers is quite terrifying. So, Father, I know that for my sisters, this is their dream and they want to do these things, but for me, I need to think about this for longer because I'm not really sure like, I'm not even sure this is something I want. I think it's something everyone else wants, and I'm here for the ride.
My son, you speak with a wise caution. Allow me, perhaps, not to convince you, but perhaps to shed light onto some potential gloaming within your heart. Let us say that a long life lived cold is much less valuable than a short one in the warm. In my opinion, the brevity of life is what provides its beauty. Immortality, much more so than hope, is the great fallacy. The idea that eternal fruitfulness, passionate or not, can be a source of never-ending happiness, I think is folly. To fill yourself up with the knowledge that one day it shall empty out and join into the vastness of reality. That is, in my opinion, the greatest of certainties. The fact that one day we shall pass on, but we shall leave a little something of what we left behind, of what we were, and what we could have been, and all the possibilities. To live on as a marionette, as a puppet, it seems that cold life compared to the warmth of humanity.
But passion fruit aside,
Yes.
as a marionette, apart from my obvious, hatred of fire because of wood, otherwise, would I live forever?
Indeed,
as long as I don't burn to a
it
cinder.
could longer your life. But the truth is, another
Fire
part
will
of the
also
fallacy of
kill you
immortality is
as
that
a
it
human.
is ultimately a fiction. There is no such thing other than perhaps the longevity of ideas that can last for more than a few centuries. The truth is that we live in uncertain times. Who knows what could happen to you or to me? I, your father, am only a flimsy old man. I could grow sick, or something could happen to me, some violence of the heart, or some violence of the body, or of the mind, some sickness or forgetfulness. And the truth is, I have made my peace with that. For you, it is as uncertain. Perhaps there is a promise of longevity, but who can say?
You're really selling the whole human thing of dementia and failing and all of that.
Yeah, I'm not liking that much.
Well, the truth is that what else is there to be confronted with the terror and to make something terrific out of it? It is ultimately meaning making. That's what humans do.
Well, I can't eat passion fruit properly right now.
Also, all
Doesn't
of your
taste right.
sensations will be dramatically enriched. You can go dancing, you can go a little bit of samba, a little bit of something. You can enjoy intimacy, closeness. You can have a better singing voice. It's possible. You might
Oh my
also,
gosh.
as you get older, my singing has improved dramatically as I've gotten older. My
It's
dancing.
improved? I mean, yeah, it
My
has.
singing. Oh yes, it had. Oh, so Etienne, if you could have heard the bar rooms that I made everyone leave in from my dreadful voice.
Can you give us an old example there, Dad?
No, you don't need to, Father. You don't need to.
I think you do.
When I was a
We just
young
believe you.
warthog, when he
was a young
You see, it's the trick to humanity is Hakuna So as the players, as you are all making your way along, you have a little while before you reach the city itself, but you do get the sense that it is upcoming. Is there anything that you would like to do in preparation, or back and forth with one another?
So we're level 5, right?
Oh, we are?
Okay. Yeah.
I have more hit points.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wasn't I dead last time?
Nope.
So I'm I went I'm supposed to have a steel defender from 2 levels ago, and I've just been kind of putting that off. So still thinking it through. So what I would like to do is pick up a few rocks for catapult
Okay.
later, rather than hoping there's something small.
Okay, so you literally just go rock picking. Okay.
I've realized that it's a massive oversight of constantly being like, hey, what is small that can be yeeted?
Indeed, the Tin Man's dick being high on that list.
I
forgot
forgot
about
that.
Yep, me too. Yep.
So what I'd like to do is spend a little bit of time of just making little small projectiles that like just kind of sharpening them and stuff like this, making them almost like little, stone or metal bullets.
Oh, excellent, excellent. That works well. Okay. Anyone else doing anything?
Oh, I'd like to sit down with my sister and have a wee chat about, what we'd like to do when we're human, if we decide to become human, and just ask her about, does she have any foods that she wants me to try and learn how to cook, because I'm planning on becoming extremely good at cooking when I'm human.
Excellent.
I see all these people eating stuff and they seem really happy eating that stuff, and I'm like, dude, I want to be happy eating that stuff. I imagine it doesn't taste like shit if they're happy.
Sorry, I would just like to read out a comment Brian has just dropped in the chat, which is for immersive gameplay. That's what you sound like, Brian. For immersive gameplay, can I literally take off my headphones for that chat?
It's actually uncanny. It's uncanny.
My friends, as you grow close to the city itself, you can see what looks like this immense shadowy shape. It's somewhat curved, and you get the sense of a wall in front of you. Its immensity is actually, for a moment, distracting quality is that you can see what looks like a line of figures snaking out in front of it, and you can hear what sounds like, muffled by the mist, as if through a kind of cottony blanket, you can hear the sounds of people talking and these sort of uneasy murmurs suppurating through the air. And as you look up, you can see that immense, slightly curved shape, perhaps 200 feet in the distance. Very difficult to make it out, but yes, probably, no, definitely a wall. Yes, you can see the tooth-like crenellations and the juts of the wall. This must be the wall of the city. And you know from your father's description that beyond these walls is an immense place, an urban sprawl. And beyond that, something that you have never seen, the open sea. Okay, so yes, at this point, it's going to be the case that the players, you reach what looks like the back of a line. And the line, that's what that snaking of people was. And it's people in traveling clothes, good sturdy boots, but all looking furtive and weathered. And one person, the person who looks behind you, a man, thinning hair, bald, kind of tonsure of hair at the top, sort of nasty, ruddyish cheeks, almost as if he's in winter instead of summer. And you can see kind of thin, white, fine hairs peeking out of his nostrils. And as he turns around to you, he grunts and turns back to his animal who he was leading a huge cart full of what looks like his life's possessions. What would you guys like to do? You're at the very end of this, about 200 feet from the city walls, and there seems to be a long line of people ahead of you.
I think Leonora would be her usual very subtle self. And she'd see your man with the cart, and she'd kind of go stomping over, and she'd be like, "Hi, I'm made of wood. Don't ask questions. Everything's fine. Why is all your shit in a cart? And why do you kind of look a bit shit? No offense."
Did you say that last bit?
Yeah.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Hey! I deserve that.
And I was just about to tell her to not go swinging her axe at any wooden signs.
Leonora, you can also take a D4 inspiration dice for staying true to your character, but the disadvantage does stand.
Hang on. +1 only. So 18. And what's my second one? 4.
Okay. The figure turns around and turns back.
Oh, okay. We have Silver. This one's for you. He talks like you. And then I just toddle off.
So I'd like to remind you that the languages I speak are Common, Draconic, Infernal, and Sylvan. I do not speak Neanderthal, so I apologize, I cannot help you. Maybe if you go and grunt, grunt, barbarian, smash, maybe he'll understand you.
Oh, there he is. There's Silver. He just needed a little spice to get into the session. He was coming.
He was always here. The existential crisis was just like, it's a father-son thing, you wouldn't understand.
I don't really want to do anything because I can see that too much more might piss this grunting person off. And I really don't feel like fighting right now.
No, I got you. I think as Etienne, even as you're considering this figure, as he turns his back on you, the milky mist running over his back, almost like white snakes, you can see that the line trundles forward a little bit, people turning around, murmuring to one another, and he grumbles, heads forward, leading his little Shetland pony, who's or sort of maybe I said a donkey before, but look, it's a horse-based thing, it's equine. Moving along with his. The real ass here is Jack. It's a case of moving forward and at this point, yes, heading forward, and you realize that it's a queue to get into the city, but for what purpose? And then you also hear something, perhaps that might raise your hackles a little bit. You can hear what sounds like at several points throughout the line, almost as if people were waiting for someone to start it off. If you've ever been on public transport, you know what I'm about to talk about. A kind of heavy, chesty, phlegmy cough. And you can see people hawking up gobbets of spit, and it's almost as if that starts a little chain that goes down the line, little pockets of mucousy spitting, and yes, you can see what looks like as well.
No, stop, please.
You're really not selling the human aspect here.
No.
One person there seems to be someone outside of the line itself heading down in your direction, but stopping at different intervals. And as the guy in front of you spits out what was in his, clogging up his throat, you watch as he rubs the spit that was tracing the line of his beard. You can see what looks like little thin flecks of blood in the spit.
Can I do a medicine check?
Absolutely.
I'm just still standing over here
19.
wondering why I want to be human if that's what happened.
19. I think that you would recognize that symptomatically you're not quite sure what's happening here. Either this guy has a very severe bronchial condition that has led to him coughing enough to basically raw up the throat and cause a little bit of blood to seep into the mucus, or something more serious is happening here. His color is very pallid. He's very, very pallid, and indeed, my friend, you notice, Katie, were you motioning toward the glands?
Oh yeah, dude, it's like got my.
You're so exactly right. I think that, Katie, you've even kind of galvanized the truth of the situation. There is also swelling around the glands, in the lymph nodes in the throat are a little swollen. And Silver, you recognize that in an instant.
So what I'd like to do is to go up after he coughs and stuff, and to be like, just put my hand up and pause it before I touch him, or anything like that. It's just like, and I start casting Cure Wounds with my hand to be like, this will make it feel better. And I then put my hand on his shoulder reassuringly to be like, is it okay if I touch your neck?
Oh, I think, and it's clear that you're casting curative magic. I think it's a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
Because if it's kind of clearly a curative. And also, you didn't tell him that he kind of looked like shit.
So thank fuck it wasn't disadvantage. 21. So
that'll be very welcome. Thanks. I feel it's a bit hard to breathe.
Oh no worries. What's going on here? Like,
I don't know. Some people in my village, they're up ahead, but it's some kind of sickness. I think there's a doctor coming down. I've heard whispers of her. She's coming out to help us, but are you one of her people?
No, we're just travelers. We don't know anything about what's happening here. We just want to
Oh,
help people in need.
oh, you, you feel very. Oh, that feels much better. Thank you. You have a way about you, sir. Perhaps I can be of assistance to you. My name is Arnold.
An absolute pleasure to meet you, Arnold. I'm Silver, and that's doesn't matter. Really nice to meet you.
And you, sir, and you, I'm at your service, and my family is at your service. If I can find them in this rabble, they came to the city a few weeks before me. I've got our things.
Well, I'd love to help you get further up in the queue, but I'm not sure exactly, how to best do that without pissing off all these people.
You can see that the figure who's been moving down the line, you can hear her voice quite faintly as she says, "Right, open. Let me see. Wunderbar. Excellent. Good, good. And now you. Excellent. Good. Let me take a small sample." And as she heads down towards your direction, she is filing away in what looks like a kind of huge array of filters and elixirs, potions, samples, and what looks like thin needled syringes and little repositories of all sorts of medical equipment, including what look like basic thermometers. You can see this woman, and she has her hair, which is a kind of a very vibrant blonde, very, very pale, but with a full, what looks like a huge streak of white moving through it, pulled up in a no-nonsense bun. And she's got a kind of a slightly rounded face, no less strong for the quality of her eyes and the sharp, hawkish nose. And she's a woman of quite firm aspect, despite the fact that she's quite, it's kind of a lean strength. And as she comes up to you, she turns Arnold around and says, "Right, I can tell from your cough that it is affecting you as well. I will need all of your details, sir." As she brings him, he says, "Sir, I shall speak to the doctor now. Perhaps I can help you later. Please, Arnold, ask for me." And you see that she just begins to take all of his details. She has him hock up as much spit as he can into a particular container that she has. She seems to add something, some solution to that, watches it change color, nods to herself, and takes out a little something to give to him. And she says, "It looks like you have already been treated for the superficial symptoms." And he says, "Oh, yes, the gentleman. Yes, you are a doctor, sir?"
No, just a very, very concerned citizen. I just couldn't stand to see someone in pain. I just want to help as much as I can. Is there anything I can do to assist you?
She snaps your hands in hers and begins to pump your arm fervently and says, "It is a pleasure to meet someone who is so egoistically absconded, so altruistic in their true measures. I am Mary Little Lamb. It is a pleasure to meet you. I am the doctor in the city, and I have a practice there. And it is very, very fortuitous for me to meet you. Perhaps I can..." Are you heading towards the city now? You are hoping to... I could use you. I could definitely use you. And my assistants, they are absolute flunkies, lackeys, fools. But you seem to have a little bit of something. Perhaps I can ensnare you into my help, if that would be acceptable to you. And your party would, of course, be able to come in as well. Perhaps skip into line.
Absolutely.
What's your name again? What's your name again? Can you please say your name again?
Mary Little Lamb.
Mary Little Lamb?
Mary Little Lamb.
It's an amazing name.
Honestly,
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
I wrote it in the chat. Sorry, Brian moment. I was like, if this is Josephina Mengele, then like I was like, oh, experiments. Okay, cool.
That's in terrible taste.
Hey, I'm sorry, but you used the German accent, and I immediately was like, oh no, I know where this goes.
You dreadful fellow.
Turns out I forgot it was Fables. Anyway, so that wasn't a fable. So,
No, indeed.
So, what I'd love to do there is just like, oh, I also have useless assistants, and Arnold is great. I'd like to bring all of these people with me, if that's okay.
Mhm.
By the way, I'm an artificer. I'm not sure if that would be helpful to you. If you need equipment upgraded or anything like that, I'd be more than happy to assist.
Mein Gott. Fortune has smiled upon me this day. Someone skilled with their hands-on technology. Stunning and brave. We will head towards the city together. Arnold, is that your name? Yes, madam, it is. And I have family. You need say no more, Arnold. If you are a friend of Silver, you are a friend of mine. Let us all head towards the city post-haste. And you there, up in the cart. Hello, I'm Geppetto. Don't care. Come, quickly. You see that as the four of you make your way, you head past the majority of the line. You can hear quite a few people coughing. And Mary Little Lamb Silver describes to you the situation. There seems to be quite a pervasive it seems like a respiratory illness that's affecting many people throughout the surrounding areas. And unfortunately, they're trying to treat it as soon as it comes into the city. Before it can become an epidemic within the walls. And furthermore, Mary illustrates to you guys that there's going to be, Katie's just heading off for a second, guys, she'll be back. And the situation within the city is that there's also a semi-quarantine zone, but the truth is there was already a substantiated, what might be called a kind of barricade. As soon as you enter the city, there are different districts, and kind of wards, but the one that's right when you come into the city is called Red Riding's Hood. And it's a case that it's run by Red Riding herself, and it seems to be, according to Mary Little Lamb, a bit of a rough area. She has a pass that takes her in and out to her practice, which I believe her practice is in, I think it's in the Kipling ward, but which is further into the city. So it's the case that, and she's able to elucidate the fact that there's a few factors that people are coming to the city for. There's some banditry. Oh, dreadful banditry these days. Lawless jackals parading themselves on the road, absolute marauders. And she also indicates that there is a certain amount of seeking fortune within the city itself. Tegeste Lipo, magnificent city. And furthermore, she's saying that this illness seems to be bringing people towards kind of more populated zones, despite the fact that perhaps people should be keeping apart. You know, there's that urge to be closer to urban centers to find treatment and care. And even as you go, you can hear a certain amount of the wet quality, that sort of wet concrete quality of the cough return to Arnold. Your cure wounds having helped, but not treated the underlying cause. Okay. Excellent. So, my friends, do you have any questions for Mary Little Lamb before you get into the city proper?
Well, I don't want to speak for my sister, but I imagine that if there's a problem with banditry, that she would be more than qualified to handle that. She's absolutely extraordinary. I've seen her tear, like, a solid objects, like cleaved right in half, and also do something similar to living beings. Yeah, very, very, very useful. Also, my other sister, like, if anything has a brain, she can melt it. And also, she has abilities that can do that too.
Indeed.
Leonora's just in the background going, if it's got thumbs, I can cut them off.
If it's got a brain, I can melt it. Yes.
There we go.
I think that
spells too. Thank you, Silver.
I think when you say that at the end, Mary Little Lamb says, "A neurosurgeon." My God, she's so thrilled.
It's not that precise, but I can work with brains.
Yeah,
kind of.
Survival rate is, it's a pursuit of science.
Exactly. Yes.
Often it is the case that to make the omelette, you have to crack a few eggs.
I crack a lot of eggs. Yeah, we're good.
Liquefied.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mary Little Lamb scares the shit out of me, guys. Like, she just... Yeah, let Silver keep licking her arse, right? Just keep doing that, okay?
Okay. So as you all head towards the city itself, you get in the dense mist. It's really hard to get a sense of all you get a sense of is heading through the gate, Mary Little Lamb having a conversation with the guards. And here's some things you would notice immediately. The guards on the gate are not human beings, nor are they members of any fantastical species. They are automatons, puppets like you, though made of much more rudimentary materials. Not the sort of hyper-organic synthesis of wood and flesh-like material and kind of the brilliant genius of Geppetto is not on display here. Rather, it's a kind of a crude wooden facsimile with elements of steel and iron and other metals alloyed into this form.
So they have like a low budget Geppetto.
That's indeed that, well, or perhaps just a less sophisticated model of your father. And you can see that as your father looks at these things, I think all three of you know him well enough. Your father's eyes fill with the most distinct sorrow. These puppets are also marked by something very specific, some elements of their clothing. You can see it's almost like a poncho, the heaviness of this coat that they have on, and there's a kind of an almost factory-like stiffness to it, and you realize that it's actually made out of a kind of iron to simulate a coat. It is marked. They have these kind of large, sort of almost helmet-like protuberances from the forehead headed back to the back of the neck. It's all blue in color. They have a truncheon on the side, a kind of a baton, sort of an enormous length of hickory. Good for bludgeoning, perhaps, the dreadful connotations imply. But interestingly, they have a little insignia, triangle at the breast. And in the triangle itself is a bobby pin. And as Merry Little Lamb moves around you, you can see that their eyes, the eyes of these puppets, are each one of them are like two glowing red lanterns peering from under that heavy helmet. There is something deeply sinister with these red glows pushing and passing through the mist, seeming to illuminate each face in a kind of a red dwarf star dying light. There's something deeply sinister about those eyes. And Merry Little Lamb whispers to you all, all of her exuberance melted away. She says, "You must be careful, the bobbies." As you,
I was like, "You're a
Yeah.
fucker." I was like, "Why did he mention fucking bobby pins?" I was like, "That's a very specific detail." I see what it is now. I see what you did there, and it was clever, you fuck. But yeah,
I love it was clever, comma, you fuck.
Yeah.
Very, very rich. Yeah, Brian, you're thinking about
I'm
something?
thinking. I'm just like looking at. I'm not saying this out loud, okay?
Yeah, no, I got.
I'm just looking at all of them, being like, that is a lot of components for my steel defender. And it's like, cool. We already know like that they were used to make Warforged. What's another?
Yeah.
Well, and I'm a little worried because it doesn't look like they have many brains between them, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to explode. However, I do have other spells. I can freeze them too, but I'm a little worried about the brain exploding with lack of it.
I can mend them.
Yes.
I think Leonora would kind of quietly lean down to Geppetto and say, "I know the other two aren't really sure about becoming human." And then I point up at the bobbies and I'm like, "But that's why I want to be human. I never want to be anything like that. I never want to be used like that. I never want to ever end up on a wall overlooking at people that I can neither see nor understand, only hurt. And that's why I want to be human."
I think he would actually. There's a moment of where your father's his sorrow seems so unbreakable, and you're not sure if he's heard you, but with a quivering, almost spasmodic gesture, his hand moves and grabs around your big, huge pinky finger and gives it a squeeze, and you know that he has heard you, but in the strange red light, you realize that your father, there are glistening tracks down his cheeks, and you're a mixture of your words and looking at these puppets enslaved to the fabled coalition. Your father's weeping, wordlessly weeping.
And I just like quietly, because I don't want to kind of say it to the others, just because he's obviously wants to cry in peace.
You don't want to admit to making it worse. Cool. Gotcha.
Silver, I'm
He's
going to
showing
stab you in
genuine
the
remorse, and you're
fucking...
like, "Oh my god, look at those guys!" And he's like, honey, I made them. I'm so sorry for what they're going through. And you're like, oh, oh. Sickener for them. Am I right? Daddy, I want to go bang some random guy. let me be human.
Okay, Brian, I know Daddy, I want to go bang some random guy is your usual pickup line, but now it's not the fucking time, okay?
So at this point, before the sibling rivalry bursts over volcanically, Geppetto, yeah, exactly. Leonora, I think upgrade that D4 you've got to a D12, and I think at this point, it's got Brian. You'll get an inspiration when you fucking earn it, and
for being in character, I'm in character.
For being lickers. That's what you're being.
Oh, actually, sorry. For those early roleplay moments, I did neglect to give Katie and Brian their inspiration. Katie D6, Brian D6 for the earlier conversations. I completely missed that. Sorry. So, here's what you see as well. Picture this: the trundling of the cart behind you, the sounds of conversation, almost like distant thunder, strange rumbles, and a thickening rumble itself, some crowd in the distance. What direction? So hard to tell in the mist. And also in the mist itself, looming up from it, seemingly the tallest structures one can imagine, although each segmented and bifurcated by thin, damp, miserable, clotted with sadness and litter alleys, coughing and what sound like grumbles of discontent. These huge buildings, each what look like scooped out of some shadowy heaven and dragged down, almost like pillars of the earth, but each one of them so rancid smelling and trashy, and you can see what looks like laundry strung out yet moth-eaten in places, and dripping as the mist itself and the early summer rains have coagulated in the cotton and the linen and the wool, and creating this oppressive sense of closeness despite the wide roads. Everything here so packed, so claustrophobic, and yet so deeply, necessarily intimate because of the people everywhere. Everywhere you look, new faces of every kind, weathered, young, sick, well, and far too sick for comfort. And there are people who look absolutely bedraggled, and it seems that no one of much wealth is here at all. No one even who can, aside from Mary Little Lamb and perhaps a few other figures coming in from the outside city business. This place, this stricken place, these tenements, Red Riding's hood. As you move closer into the thickness of the mist, you can see it dissipating a little bit. And you can see what looks like they have erected these mechanical structures that seem to swirl and banish the mist itself, almost as if for some kind of spectacle. That must be what the crowd is here for. As you move into the crowd itself, it becomes hard to see where Mary is. She attempts to grab your hand, Silver, but the crush of the crowd becomes thicker and thicker, her voice diminishing. And you can see that there's a wide avenue ahead of you, and perhaps about, if any of you have been to a St. Patrick's Day parade or any kind of pageant, you can see that there's huge lines of people, some Olympian event perhaps. You can see a huge line of people in front of you, and on the other side of the street, huge throngs. But in the midst of it, what looks like a cobbled street, and there are horse hooves clopping sonorously on the street, adding to the cacophony around you, that swirling maelstrom of sound and the smells of the city. And again, that claustrophobia. But wait, there's something coming, some music. Yes, music, a kind of fanfare. And parade floats is something that your father told you about or that you've read about, and you can see what looks like enormous parade floats scooping in and out, and seemingly the central bit of focus. The three players, are you looking out for anything in particular as you do this? Any point of interest?
I'm just keeping it to myself, but I am very wary because of these warforged weird puppets that were on the walls, and because of this rampant sickness and this Mary Little Lamb person who is super eager to see us. I'm wary that it could have like smackings of a trap of some sort.
You're wary. Sorry, Katie, give me that again. What has the smackings of a trap?
Just the whole thing, because There were Warforged that were obviously not like us. And Lenora's being super like kind of worried about like I don't want to end up like that. And now Etienne's thinking, wait, we're our father's creation. They're our father's creation. Do they want us as well? So I've just got suspicion.
Yes.
So I'm being hyper, like I'm trying to be hyper aware because now I'm like on alert and kind of
like that.
Wary and kind of like there are no fucking even like I can't even grab a rat to have run around for me and tell me about shit. Like this place is just creeping me out. So
I got you. And I think for that, it's your choice. Are you attempting to gauge the people or the environment? You tell me. Okay, I think for that, I'd ask for an insight check. While KT is rolling, Leonora, Silver, any particular interest?
Leonora is stomp, pushing children out of the way to get to the front of that queue. She wants to see what this parade fucking thing is.
Okay.
Can I just say that in the back of my head, I was like, I want to do something, but I don't want to take agency away from Leonora, like Rachel. I was like, I kind of want to order Rachel to like clear the fucking path. I said like, just like Leonora, smash. And like, because we're losing sight of Mary Little Lamb, and be like, not anymore, Leonora.
Yes.
What was I rolling for? Perception or what?
Insight.
Insight. Okay, insight is a +3, so 18 + 3, so 21.
21 is really good. Okay. Katie, Etienne is aware of a feeling around her in the people. I think the best way to think of this is, Etienne, you have very, very rarely had an opportunity on the road in your journey to slip into a nice warm or hot bath and enjoy that feeling of cleanliness. But you have, and the feeling of the people around you, perhaps not him or her, but someone beyond them, or perhaps them, it's hard to know, but definitely around, is the sense that you've been immersed in something and it's gradually not cooling, but heating. Something is heating up, not physical temperature, some element of the atmosphere rising, and you can feel yourself, that on-edge sense, something is coming to boil. Okay. That will grant you some advantages in the future. Remind me of that.
Oh, I'll
So
remind you.
I just love that Etienne is being really watchful. You know, Silver is being Silver. Leonora is just going stompy, stompy, stomp, and like it's all three of us really connected with their characters. I think.
Yes. I think
Such a
that
stretched role play. Such a
Silver.
stretch.
I know
Silver.
it's really tough for me too. It's as you can tell, like I really got to dig deep for Leonora.
As Silver and Leonora, you guys are heading up to the front, isn't that right? I think you would both see what looks like some strong bunting, you know, those lovely bit of clipped sort of crepe paper, and the colourful quality of it insinuating out of the murk. You could see also what looks like some signs and some lovely pieces of fanfare and what looks like hung bells and berries on the different lips and roofs of houses. The music is growing louder and louder, and you hear people muttering to one another. And as you approach the very front, Leonora, pushing your way through, you see the wedding float. You can see two artistically rendered individuals. One, a magnificent beauty, and the other, fabulously strong and powerful and bestial. And as these two, fabulously brunette figures, both long-haired and marble-jawed and with wonderful musculature, just perfect specimens rendered in art, those two exact same people are atop a float. And you can hear cries from the crowd of, La belle, la bête, la belle, la bête, Beauty, the Beast, and happy wedding day. And as the music swells, you see that the two of them step forward, Beauty and the Beast, man and wife. And you can see that as they come together, and wedding dress, wonderful suit, and the music swells and they step forward. The man opens his mouth. My dearest love, from skies above, you seem descended like sunshine. Your beauty is endless and perfect, sublime. The woman steps forward. Oh, my dear, I want you here. Won't you always be near me? Yes, I will. What a thrill. Oh, isn't he lovely? My Prince Charming. Woo! Sings the crowd as she sings. You are disarming. Woo! Alarmingly so. You'll never come to harm so long as you tone down the smarm. And I know that I broke up our marriage 3 times because I cheated on you with your mates Johnny and William and David and Harry and Stephen and Mark and Nigel and David again. But hey, 4th time's the charm. And as the crowd explodes into horrified applause, you watch as someone says, "Let's do it." Rips out a piece of cloth, stuffs it into a bottle, lights it on fire, and throws it at the parade float. You watch as several Molotov cocktails smash into the different parade floats, beginning to ignite. Cries of, "The Forgotten Eighth! Death to the fabled coalition!" You watch as all of these figures begin to swarm towards it, drawing blades out. Beauty says, "My darling, protect me." As the beast says, "Not on my fucking wedding day." And as the woman shreds off her wedding dress, revealing her mouth extending in a beak, rippling out in hair and what looks like downy fur, as the woman, not the beast being the man and the woman, being Beauty being the man and an owl bear beast being the woman, as she hoot growl stomps towards the crowd. As soon as this happens, the bobbies begin to swarm up around the crowd. Disperse, disperse, disperse. You will obey. And you watch as this chaos is breaking out. They stampede towards you. And for a moment, Leonora, the blue fairy flickers upon your shoulder. Would you like to use it?
Yeah, she's very excited because she's like, no, I know how to do this bit. Blue fairy, blue fairy, blue fairy, blue fairy, blue fairy.
And summoned next to you, shunting not from some different space, but from somewhere else in that thickening crowd, comes a figure. We have our guest. Hey,
Yay!
Rose.
Hi.
Did we catch you eating?
No, I just got him that I'm here.
Yes, you're
Hey,
awesome.
welcome.
It's so good to see you, Rose. Rose, tell me. So, you're clued into the scenario. You're clued into what's happening. What does Leonora see, and what do the other players see? What do you look like?
I poof into existence, and at first I seem like the first shimmer of spring, but then it sort of hardens and crystallizes into a frosty aura, and there's this really deadly, the hatred and loathing of deep winter about me. I am an Eladrin. And I am here for vengeance.
Absolutely.
You want me to do the full intro, or I don't know what you need?
No, you're perfect.
Your catchphrase, "I am an Eladrin and I'm here for vengeance," is a great fucking tagline.
Metal as hell. So you see this figure appear next to you. Rose, what is your character's name?
My name is Chione.
Chione. And Chione, do you have a Molotov in your hand?
I have a Molotov in one hand and a mace made out of antlers in the other, and its name is Misery. For the wolves have taken too much from me. I'm here for vengeance.
Chione, you can feel a strange gravity, a kind of a wonderful pull and a sense of purpose that was not there a moment ago, not just for your cause, but for this little group that you can see, this little motley crew next to the this huge figure of Leonora, the willowy sort of sylph-like severity of Silver, and the sort of studious wonderful quality of Etienne, and their dad on his cart, and their big gingerbread man. So you can feel a certain amount of obligation towards them, which perhaps perplexes Chione. But I think, as you can see, perhaps more pressing, The bobbies are closing in. Disperse, disperse. Lay down your arms. What would you like to do?
I'm going to throw my Molotov right at the lead one. That's the only answer.
I love the idea that Brian was about to say don't throw the Molotov, but you yes. Yes.
Wait. Do I get any advantages? You told me I got advantages.
Yes.
Does that come yet?
Any sort of action that the group has. So I love that Chione is doing what Chione does, vengeance, and taking down one of these creatures, throwing a Molotov directly at them. And we get an action from each player. We're not technically in combat here. This is more cinematic. So you can do kind of a lot of things here. KT, you have first dibs, and you can actually do a couple things, KT, because of your perception.
Okay, so I don't understand who are the good guys and who are the bad guys and who we should be supporting. Should we be supporting? So I'm very partial to the poor little Warforged people who are like having to dive in regardless of what their like affinity might be, because they're not like allowed to think for themselves and that. So I don't really want to hurt them, but I don't know whether to attack. Like, I don't know who to attack. I don't know what to do. Yes, Silver, save me.
So, first of all, I'd like to turn around and be like, Arnold, thank you so much for coming in with us. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you. I think this is a very good time.
I'm at your earliest convenience. Farewell.
Yeah, very good time for you to go and see your family. Bye, thank you. And then go to Geppetto and be like, hey, so remember the blue fairy, like, comes in, helps us and all this sort of stuff? Can it summon villains?
Pulls his notes. And he goes, open to debate.
Open to debate. Fantastic. Kill the bastards. So,
okay.
Literally, it's kind of like, Arnold, and then Geppetto, and then it just turns around to Chione, like, absolute pleasure to meet you. I'm Silver, not really important. We're not good with fire. But like literally the only thing that will like guarantee our death. So like let's figure this one out.
Behind Chione, as Chione sort of very, very kindly sort of says, kind of puts the hands over the mouth like, oh no. And you can see that behind Chione is the writhing figure of the police agent who's completely doused in flames.
Oh no.
Cool. Leonora, thoughts? It's usually the only thought you ever have. I think you should have that thought now.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Leonora's
We're passing it.
Silver, I got this. I've got a plan. It's foolproof. Okay?
Oh,
I
God.
grabbed the closest rebel.
What have we done?
I grabbed the closest rebel by the back of the head. I lift him up. I roll to intimidate. Okay. I've 15 plus 2. I got 16. And I'm like, why are you trying to kill the lady with the bad singing voice and the hot man?
You watch Chione, you watch as your friend, whose name is Salience. Salience is a kind of a lizard folk, his face all kind of dappled in lovely iridescent green scales, as this puppet lifts him up, gives him a shake and asks him a question. Salience turns around to you, Chione, kind of looking fearfully at Leonora and says, we gotta go. She's out. She's gone beast mode. Pointing at the owl bear.
And I jump in and say something? Okay. I'm picking up on your cues. We represent the Forgotten Eight. We are here because the Fable Masters have ruined the great city. And I am here personally because I am here to seek vengeance against all of the deer in Featherdown Forest that have been slaughtered by the wolves. But Beauty and the Beast have their own crimes to pay for. So I'm sorry about the fire.
I love the idea that Salience kind of...
I'll bring frost in the future, but we'll fucking burn them down. Metaphorically.
Salience kind of... there's a moment of silence as the absolute bedlam is breaking out. There's a moment of pocketed silence here, and Salience, the lizard folk, nods and goes, that pretty much covers the major points.
So, Owlbear bad. Warforged bad.
She's a
Rebels good?
With
Etienne,
bad style.
you actually see, Etienne, you watch as the owlbear, one of Chione's allies, one of the Forgotten Eighth, these figures. It looks like a young man, a kind of hopeful man, but his face twisted, and that hope simmering underneath a kind of a veneer of rage, turns to fright as the owlbear stampedes towards him, lifts him up, and doesn't disembowel him. He doesn't even get that. Just claws him aside. His body goes ass over teeth like into a post.
Them's fighting, throwing choices.
Okay, just to really make sure on this, just like kind of turn around to Etienne and be like, hey, sister, so you know the way that you love passion fruit. Passion fruit is a fruit. Fruit is like nature. Nature is druids. Druids are able to grow things, okay? Protect the druid, get the passion fruit. Kill everything else.
That makes so much sense.
Also, Leonora, stop talking to people. Kill
so
everything.
Can we see if the so obviously fire and feather is probably not a good combo on an owlbear, right? So the fire is probably pissing the owlbear off, right? It has a brain, so I can melt it. So I would like to try and melt the owl brain, and in the process also back away from the main part of the fire. Because I have a 60-foot range and I know I can move 30 feet and I don't want to be near that heat.
At the end, there's a verbal component to Dissonant Whispers, am I right? Because it's literally kind of you murmuring out. So,
yeah.
Okay, yes, you can absolutely do that. It is a wisdom save. Go ahead and roll damage, by the way, because I think I'm going to take half at least. Go ahead. And Leonora, at the same time, are you going to, do you have a follow-up?
Leonora Jenkins! I rage.
She rages. Then Rose, do you have another follow-up as Chione?
I do. Can I cast frostbite on an object?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna try and douse the flames and say sorry a little bit in my frosty way.
Oh, to the member of the Bobbies, one of the policeman robots, kind of.
To the center of the conflagration.
It's kind of a little apology, Frost.
Allies were flammable.
I'm not going to lie, that's really nice. Maybe the proximity of the flames is kind of off-putting the group. I think that
20, by the way.
Rose, make an Arcana check, and as which uses, I believe, intelligence, and then 20 points of damage. Oh my god, that's very good.
Well, yeah, because I used a second skill slot.
You got it.
Gets an extra.
So I will deal with the results of that in just a moment. So we have Leonora raging, and who are you charging towards? Anyone in particular, Leonora?
Oh, I go straight for the fucking owlbear, because of course I do.
Oh,
yeah, but it took you a while this time.
Okay. I
was like, do I headbutt the fucking police? Do I headbutt the owlbear? Do I headbutt the Molotov people? I just have to be careful who I headbutt. That's all.
So you'd like to go up against the beast? Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Of course I do. Yeah, I go straight for it. I pull out my great axe, and I just fucking go for it.
And Silver.
So do you remember you were explaining about all these towers, the verticality of the place, and how
it's actually you can picture it as kind of what might be kind of slum apartment blocks. Think cyberpunk.
Fabulous. So what I would like to do is I would like to maybe identify in one of the higher buildings a parapet ledge of sorts that would kind of get me out of harm's way, and that I have a bird's eye view of everything. So I'd like to look at that and then be like, Misty Step.
Honestly, that covers 30 feet. No roll necessary. With these fans propelling the mist around, you can zap up there right away. And then, Brian, you can make a perception check if you'd like to on the series. So I think we started with KT in terms of the damage roll. So and also, Rachel, you can make an attack roll against the owlbear.
Yes.
Dirty 20.
Nice. So KT, 20 points of damage. The owlbear, as it moves towards you, it begins to lope. You watch as a little area of blood is beginning to pour out of its ear, but it's moving towards you with purpose, and you can see what looks like Beauty, the male figure, sort of rooting around and producing what looks like a staff. As he levels it towards you and the owlbear both, he says, "Don't worry, poopsikins." At this point, then we have, so that did a fair whack of damage. Let me just note that. Thank you very, very much, Etienne, by the way. Great roll. Next we have Rose. What did you get on that Arcana check for Chione?
I got dirty 13.
13 is actually sufficient. You managed to quell the flames to the point where Leonora, the crystallizing, actually, Rose, let's use that delightful narrative skill of yours. How does it look that the flames are going to be doused? And it's basically going to give Leonora some advantages with her attacks because it's going to be so quick, her help. How does it look?
I definitely throw my mace in the air and I scream something like, "The bitter heart of winter!" And it casts a tiny little seed of frost magic that sucks in the flames.
Love it.
That was so high school. My Hero Academia.
It's not going to change. I'm sorry.
No, and you shouldn't because it's the boss.
I was literally thinking anime. I was like, give it. Yes, do it.
Yeah. The best thing about it was that, like, the voice, like the head went down a little.
Yeah.
That was okay. So, Leonora, that happens, and you actually have advantage on your attack roll.
Oh, that's great because I rolled a 22.
Okay.
Obviously, dirty 22. And then I rolled damage. I only got 1, but I'm raging plus, it's 1d12 plus 3. So I did 7 points of damage. And I just pull my great axe out, and I'm just like, "Your shit is singing!" And then I hit her.
Oh my god.
As the great axe swings, you get 2 attacks. You're barbarian 5th level.
Oh yes. Do I have to roll for the second attack, or I just roll for the second amount of damage?
Yes, you roll, and you have advantage thanks to Chione.
Oh, okay. Well, I got 2 for that one, so that was dog shit.
Oh,
natural 20 on the second. Thank you.
Chris. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and double your dice roll and give me that damage.
Fabulous. Hang on. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18.
Holy hell. My friend, Leonora, you would get a pretty good vista of this right away. Your axe blows are staggering. They would fell a mortal man. Etienne's magic could easily have killed someone. The beast barely looks affected. The flesh is so hearty and potent, and you can even see what looks like a kind of malevolent, amused twinkle in her eye. As she lowers her head.
Oh, shit.
And Silver, what did you get on that perception check?
Dirty 20.
Brian, you could shout a warning because you can see Beauty leveling his staff and a kind of similar frost crystallizing. It actually, my dude, it actually looks like dust moving into a vacuum. These little pieces of crystal from behind moving forward. He's pointing it directly at the crowd.
So
What a fucker.
If we say no, the perception check and the Misty Step were my actions. I was like, I
No.
can't do anything. No,
You can do a warning if should you or something.
or something. Would I get away with trying to use catapult?
Oh, with disadvantage. Yes.
Okay. Well, actually, catapult. It's only a dex saving throw of 14. So
In that case, I have advantage.
okay.
I get a 15. Does that succeed?
It does.
Okay.
So
Half
it's
damage?
Half damage.
Okay.
Of 4d8 because I'm at 2nd level.
Holy crap.
So that is going to be 21. So,
So 10 points.
10 points. Now, I want to highlight that I've aimed at the hand holding the staff.
Yes. Okay. I, for that, will say.
But because of Chione's, I just love the enthusiasm. So
Yes.
I would like to say in my deadpan tone, be like, "Go rock!" and then just kind of like looking up at the sky and being like, "Why am I like this?"
Okay. Leonora, in slow motion, you watch as the owlbear ducks itself low. And as the staff comes around, he says, "Lo, poopsikins, lo! Take this, you rapscallions!" And as the cone of cold blasts in a 40-foot cone ahead, Chione, Etienne, Leonora, and I'm going to have the gingerbread man, as well as at least 30 members of the crowd, innocent, and indeed the perhaps from a certain point of view, the innocent freedom fighters of the Forgotten Eighth as well, caught in the cold blast, need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh shit!
Probably should have went with a warning.
It's okay. Indeed, yes, unfortunately, Silver, and the damage threshold was not sufficient to give anyone advantage, but it did damage Beauty. I'm just rolling my damage here. Oh shit! Okay.
I got 17.
So did I.
17 just succeeds. Chione,
And what do I add to that? Do I add like?
you're fine, Katie. It would have been
Okay.
Constitution. You made this.
Okay.
Rose, how'd you do?
I got 11.
Okay, my friend.
Shit.
Yeah. What did I get?
So as the cold blasts over the crowd, they take 35 points of cold damage. Chione, so you take 35.
Oh, fuck. I have 3 HP left. Cool.
And KT and Etienne and Leonora, you take 17 points of cold damage.
Fuck me. Jeez, guys.
You watch as you also hear behind you as Geppetto cries out. The gingerbread man did not move quick enough on his save, took the full brunt of damage. Geppetto took some damage and is now shivering violently as if in the grip of pneumonia.
Shit.
The crowd is decimated, turned into hideous, almost Gorgon frozen cold shapes, their skin glittering, and you watch as one of the bobbies moves forward to one of them, disperse, tips one of the people, and they shatter into cold flesh shards. Chione, you see your ranks give a twirl around sign, and they, as the last Molotov is thrown, they begin to dissipate into the crowd, those who weren't caught in the blast. You have seen the sign for retreat. Okay, we're back with the gang now. I think the owlbear. Oh my god. So I have 3 attacks with the owlbear. Leonora, I'm going to, what's your AC?
17.
No, that's a good AC. You're fine. You're only going to take 1 of the hits, but it is a natural 20.
Oh, bollocks.
So, my friend, oh my god, okay. So that is this times 2. Oh, okay, that could have been worse. So that is 20 reduced to 10 because you're raging.
Okay.
As the owlbear sticks the claws up into you, and you hear there's almost this hideous moment of macabre tension for you, Leonora, because as you feel the claws dig piercingly and the pain instantaneous in your abdomen, looking into those dead black eyes belonging to such a stupid singer and now conveyed into this beastly form as the wedding music is still playing. My friend, so I think first it might be good to have, because Jonah has seen the signal here, it might be best to go to you first. Rose, what would your character like to do?
I start by coughing up blood that's a little bit frozen. I'm not well.
Oh, fuck.
Some of the rage of winter ebb in my...
No.
I look at my new allies and say, we might want to go. Beauty is fucking crazy. She has basic bitch powers. We might want to leave. My allies are going.
Okay.
That's what I tell my people, that we should probably fucking bounce.
So, Chione, and you all feel through the magic of the blue fairy that name resonate with you all. You know that this figure was summoned here to help you, says this. And even I think, Brian, from Silver's perception point, you're 30 feet away from the action, but you would be able to see Chione. I assume, Rose, there was a certain amount of gesturing there. There was also full-on blood coughing. I think, Silver, you might be able to... that's a good point, actually. So Leonora, again, tell me what you do, and then I'll tell you what Silver can know.
I'll be honest, Leonora would be so pissed off that a shit singer with fucking wings that can't even fly, pulled a crit on her, that she'd probably stab it again. Or I do have a javelin, and the pretty boy has pissed me off. So can I pull out my javelin and throw it at pretty boy?
You definitely can. That will use your action. You still have your movement. Is that okay?
I still have my movement, yeah. So I will. Yeah, she's very listen. She's not the smartest sometimes.
No, you absolutely.
Yeah, she throws it. Let's see. Do I hit? 20. That is a dirty 20.
That definitely hits.
And that is.
Hold on, Rachel.
Oh.
You watch as the javelin moves towards him at a terrific pace. You watch as Beauty says, waves a hand and casts shield, a rippling array of light before him. As the javelin sticks in it, he wraps his hand around it, lets it drop to the ground, and says,
Carruthers, fetch that, will you? I shall keep it as a souvenir of this, my happy wedding day. Oh, God.
And you watch as he's laughing to himself and looking at, he's not even paying attention to you, Leonora.
She's so mad. She is so fucking mad.
Are you going to stay in periphery with the beast?
I see Dad is shivering, so I know it'll probably provoke an opportunity, an attack of opportunity, but I back up to see can I grab Dad and leg it.
A 12 versus your AC. Well,
so she's just going like this, so she's like running off into the corner to grab Dad.
At this point, I wish I had two throats to do the hoot and the growl at the same time. At this point, owlbears, they're the best. So Leonora deftly avoiding that, moving towards the carriage with your dad, or towards Chione as Rose, Chione, mask or femme presenting?
Femme, can I also femme androgynous? Can I do an action and then run away while I warn people?
You know you can. Hell yeah.
Okay. I want to make eye contact with Beauty really quickly.
With the so that's the beast.
Oh, that's really okay.
Yeah, the femme is the beast.
Okay, I'm all right. Well, I'm still mad at whoever was dressed as a girl had a really tacky dress, and I want to say that
it was tacky.
your style is obvious and basic, and really
basic bitch.
Then I'm gonna cast Entangle and run away.
That's a strength save. I will make that now. Curse you, Rose Reynolds. Curse you. That's a natural one.
Yes.
So I was going to be able to pursue you with the beast, and now as the what entangles the owlbear? What entangles her?
The same briars, that's winter briar that grows in my hair. So it shoots down into the ground, and it's like a bunch of dark gray vines with thorns that bites into her, his or her. I don't know what's going on gender wise. Oh, sorry.
Beauty is the man.
The beast is really the lady. Good. Okay, I'm on it. Well, it tangles her beast's bitch ass feet.
So as it does, she roars impotently, unable to break through. And I assume you're legging it. You're running.
Yes.
Hell
no,
yeah.
limping it. I'm limping it.
Limping. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I think that Silver, at this point, you would recognize that this is happening. So I'm going to cut to you in a second. But Etienne, what is your immediate reaction?
I don't know if I can just get them to calm the fuck down so we can all just run away. I've got like calm thoughts is one of my psionic abilities.
You can try to cast calm thoughts on the beast.
Because she seems really fucking worked up, dude. Like,
Yeah, there's it's her
for
wedding.
somebody who cheated on her like now husband like 85 times, like bitch has a little bit too much going on there, you know? Like,
Hey,
dude, your wedding day obviously isn't that special to you, you know? So just
I mean, that guy David. My God.
yeah. So I want to try and use calm thoughts and then maybe get myself further away
Okay.
at the same time.
I'm going to read the text of Calm Thoughts as you cast that. Well, Brian, you tell me what you're doing. Tell me what Sober's up to.
You told me that you'd tell me what I'd be able to notice from all of this.
I got you. So you're able to see that Leonora is beating feet towards the cart with father in it. She's wrapped her hands around the cart itself because the gingerbread man seems like half stiffened with cold, and it's the case that his sort of baked form seems to have taken very, very badly to the cold damage. Geppetto is quivering sort of with a hideous kind of palsied movements, and it's the case that you can actually see the crowd moving like a kind of from this height, only 30 feet up. There is still that kind of hideous sense of proximity to it, and the panic seems to almost have a physical smell to it. It's an acrid smell, like spent cordite or sickly sweet sawdust, or you know, this kind of hideous smell. And Silver, you can see your family basically putting an egg in their shoe and beating it as fast as they can away from La Belle et la Bête.
Sorry, 1 second. I just need to Google what the fuck cordite is.
It's Gunsmoke. That was a fucking killer drop. Who does cordite? I've used it in a poem once.
Thank you, Ross.
I really, really, really wanted that to be Shiona. It's just like cordite. It's like, bitch, run.
Steely blue of cordite in the morning. Okay.
So,
Silver, what you got?
Leonora is like gone, like she's out of Dodge, yeah?
Well, I've grabbed Dad and I'm in the process of running, right?
You can definitely still see everyone, including Chione. Like the group seems to be like everyone else, moving away from this main parade area where the fire and the smoke is billowing up.
So Owlbear Beast is ensnared at the moment.
Currently.
Yeah, I'd like to use my charge goggles on Beauty.
On so that's the gentleman in the float.
Yes.
Holy crap! That's going to work. Okay, so that is a dex save.
That is 1 second.
Might be a ranged attack.
Yeah, it's both of them are notes. Charge goggles, fiery light to 120 feet, dex save. So
KT, that's at 4th level. Not at 5th. You're good. We have our private jet. But Brian, yes, I think it might be a dex.
Dex save. It's a dex save.
Shield is not going to help that dramatically. That's a fucking 2. So you get to roll damage.
3d6.
Oh God. Also, Etienne, I'm going to make a charisma saving throw for Beast. And I did just roll a natural 20. No, indeed, it seems like the fury of matrimony is keeping her ablaze. She is still not happy. However, you do notice that Calm Emotions has a 20-foot sphere. So some of the people in the crowd who were screaming and running kind of go, oh, as they continue to run. That's okay.
And I'm running.
Yes,
I'm running.
How much damage, Brian?
So I was wondering, the gingerbread luck that allows me to reroll dice, of the 3d6, am I able to impact those dice?
Oh, it doesn't affect damage dice.
Okay, that's totally fine. So yeah, that is a 13. Now, what I would like to say though, because I imagine with the mist all like floating around, the goggles would literally punch a hole through the mist and come like out of nowhere, and it's just like, oh, is Poopsykins not saving you? Where's your shield?
As it scorches through, you can see
Oh, you brute, you brute, you brute.
as the owlbear looks up towards you, its mouth opening, you can see the flicking tongue within, and still you can see that the blood still oozing from the ear and from Leonora's wounds, soaking into the fur. The beast absolutely took damage there, but the furious rage is still continuing. Does that end your turn? Are you moving?
Oh, I'm moving the fuck away. Like while calling, being like, I heard David is way more beautiful. I don't understand why why you got the title.
Why did she pick you?
Brian, I just rolled an 11 on my charisma save. Go ahead and roll vicious mockery damage.
I love you. Vicious mockery. 2d4. Oh, that's 5.
Okay, 5 extra damage for Beauty as he looks towards. He looks up into the distance. He can only see a little bit of crackling fire on the air and some figure in the distance who's just shot him with fire. And you say this about David, and he goes,
You don't even know David. He's a close personal friend. You don't even know David.
Close personal friend.
That's fucking gold.
So with sounds of utter carnage and chaos, with the flames lapping up, the bodies moving into the crowd now dispersing it, a hideous sort of riot squad forming up, their shields locking together and almost seeming to zip together in this kind of hideous automaticity, and the bodies forming a kind of, and you watch Leonora as 6 of these automaton robots, their eyes glowing like bright red fog lamps in the dark and the mist. You watch as they lock up, and 2 of them at the bottom curl up, their bodies forming wheels, as this huge thing, this huge pike skewered wall of shields begins to move riot dispersal mode into the crowd. Disperse, disperse, you will return to your homes. At this point, it is the sheer horror of the situation beginning to leach in like the dampness of the mist. And my friends, as you follow Chione leads you through the mist and scooping it aside, similar to the way that Silver's fabulous lasering, scorching power moved through it. They seem to have this excellent knowledge of the city, so perfect that they can seem to predict the movements of the bodies. Chione moves looking right, moving left, furtive, creeping, speedy when they need to be. And you watch as they clamber up a particular ladder that is lowered from seemingly nowhere, grabs the hand of a compatriot, lifts them up, and suddenly you find yourselves in what looks like a kind of a balcony area. The sounds of chaos now, God, half a mile away. How long have you been running for? All sense of time lost in the mist and the chaos and the heat, the heartbeat, that artificial heartbeat whacking in your wooden chests. And my friends, now, exhalation. You're in some kind of attic space, what looks like a little open air balcony over to the right, what looks like a series of tools, series of carpentry tools on the left, a safe house of some sort. And you see Chione sitting down and breathing and exhaling, speaking in murmured words to their compatriot, who melts away into the mist, probably in search of the others. My friends, what would you like to do?
Carpentry.
You'd like to do carpentry?
Yeah, I see the tools.
Do woodworking tools affect us?
Hey,
Because
Word.
I'm having like,
I can make a wooden sword arm. Okay, so
I'm just having like, I'm just having a few little, fear flashes here of like, okay, are these for us? I'm suspicious, okay, by nature.
It's okay.
Suspicious person.
So I'm just holding Dad, and I'm just like,
And
like, are you all right? Like, are you hurt?
I could perhaps use a blanket.
I'm like, I don't care if I have to fucking yank a curtain off a window. I'm
I think,
just grabbing.
Leonora, I think you do that.
I just
We-
yanked it. I just yank it off, and I'm like, sorry, not
The
sorry.
wall
And
comes
I
down,
just, yeah.
exposing all of us.
I'm technically still giant. So I'm still giant. So I just like I yank the curtain off and I wrap it around him and I'm like bundle him like a burrito and I'm just holding him.
Did
'Cause I don't want to
we
put him down.
just leave?
Where we are.
Did we just leave the treasure with the charred gingerbread golem?
Oh shit!
No, he's downstairs.
Oh, thank fuck.
He's all right. Your new friend, Chione, has led us marvelously. Leonora, did you see them? Their poor faces so blank and devoid of emotion. My poor children.
So they're like our siblings.
Yes.
That's disturbing.
In a macabre way, they are your dark, scraped-out cousins.
Oh, great. That's
Sorry,
So
Rose's
nice.
Just
laugh.
fucking laugh.
Yeah, Rose's laugh at that was just very. Sorry, Fiona's laugh at that was very.
Jack, you're so extra. I've never seen this side of you. You're spectacular. Like your performance is so stellar. I love you.
well now with the laughing of Chione, and combined with the carpentry tools on the wall, I'm a little bit hesitant.
That was an off-table laugh.
Oh, okay.
So I
then.
was actually getting a warm blanket from the blanket box and asking to put the curtain on the wall so we can on the windows continue to be in the safe house and not seen.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're cool. Just ask me. Like I know where shit's at. Calm down.
Could we have a short rest because it feels like Rose is covered in blood? Chione is covered in blood.
I'm close.
3
Yes.
hit points left.
My friends, in terms of short
I
rest,
think I've got like 8.
here's y'all can be relatively familiar with short rest, but just for a sense of kind of recap, short rest you have at level 5, you have access to 5 dice of your particular class. Rose, what is your class again?
My class?
Yeah.
Druid of the Circles. Circle of the Shepherd. There we go.
Oh, so good. It's such a good choice. Druids use a D8, so in this case, you would have access to 5 D8 worth of healing. But each time you roll a D8, add your Constitution modifier, not the Constitution score, but the modifier, the lower number, to the result, and you recover that much hit points.
Don't Brian and I have negative constitution modifiers?
But I also have full hit points, so I'm good.
Oh, well, I don't.
I use that.
I have like 8 hit
intelligence.
points.
That intelligence is a really high stat.
Yeah,
I
and
tend
you
to use
used it. You
Yeah.
used
Kate,
it to
remember-
save
Kate,
yourself and not us. Thanks.
I think you have D6s, as far as I'm aware, for your recovery.
I have D12 because
Because
I'm
you're a
big.
barbarian, and Geppetto has D4s.
Oh,
So I'm going to do a short rest for your dad.
15.
Okay,
Don't have. Well, I'm full hit points.
nice.
Like, how does Geppetto visibly look right now?
With the addition of the blanket, with a little bit of about an hour spent in kind of, by the way, I assume that the conversation that you're going to have in character from now, take it as that it's happening over the course of that hour, and that there's moments of meditation and recovery. Over the course of that time, your father visibly improves, but make an insight check.
Cool. I don't know shit. It was 5. I'm like, yeah, he looks like an old man.
There's something very, very wrong, but you're not sure what.
Yeah, cool. So I'd just like to plonk my, hand down on his forehead and be like, yeah, cure wounds. Let's see if anything fucking happens. Let's go.
Okay. You watch as he looks up at you. Whatever is wrong doesn't change. But he looks up at you and he smiles the most thin-lipped smile and he says, my boy, my sweet bright boy.
So,
So
Father, I
I-
wanted to ask, like, there's a lot of questions. Like, it was going to be really easy being the favorite out of the 3 of us. But if we have to add all of these fuckers on the wall into the contention, that's like, that's a lot of competition right there.
Can Leonora just take her hand very straight and just smack Silver in the back of the fucking head, and I'm just like, no,
It's
Silver.
not the time.
Guys, as Leonora does that, and as Silver speaks, Geppetto would normally rise to either answer Silver's question or rebuke Leonora, perhaps. His face, look, he has the stunned look of an animal who has just seen its kindred cut down. There is a kind of hideous waxen quality to his complexion, and as he looks with those blank, vacuous eyes, he doesn't say anything. He simply turns his face away.
Guys, come on. You need to not be dicks and Dad's not feeling good, okay? We need to.
Okay.
Wait, I wonder if calm work on him to help his mind like feel better, like to make him.
You're
You
not
should
sure.
ask that. Yeah, you
Sure.
should ask him before you cast that.
Yeah, like okay, so I'm gonna ask Geppetto, Dad, I know you're not feeling good. Do you want me to help you? Want me to try and help you feel a little better?
When he
mind-
looks at you, Etienne, he's looking right through you, and he says, "You know, Etienne, there was a time when you were very young, and I thought she's capable of so much, and you've proved to be capable of even more. And where I was," and he stops talking.
There's some inappropriate private chat happening right now.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I just read it. That's okay. That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Intrusive thoughts are winning on Silver.
Here's
Oh,
the thing.
man.
Here's the thing: is that when it comes to the having fun, I prefer you guys have fun. So that works for me. But
But
yes,
I'm not doing that.
no, it's okay.
Well, I didn't really get an answer, so do you
Yeah,
think
exactly.
I should?
It's kind of there's such an abstracted quality to him right now.
Oh, I just want to make him feel better. What do you guys think? Like, should we try and make him feel better, or do we just let him wallow in his misery? Like, I
So
mean, that's not very nice. He doesn't
I
let us
quietly-
wallow in misery.
True. I quietly rolled insight to see if I could figure out what was wrong with Dad, and I got a natural 1. So I know his name is Dad.
So your instinct is to get your sister to cast calm emotions.
Oh no, that means that's the wrong thing to do. But okay, yeah, you should totally cast calm emotions, Etienne.
Should I like roll from a medicine check to see if like that might even help him, or an insight check?
You
It
could.
depends. How much do you like? How much do you trust your sister?
Trust Leonora.
Yeah.
Leonora
Come
seems to
on,
know.
Silver.
I mean, well, I trust her in a lot of ways, perhaps not necessarily in this one,
Oh,
because sometimes she cuts down signs, you know, like fierce, damaging signs that might have slaughtered us all.
make an insight check.
14. Do I add anything to that? Wait, insight?
Yes,
Yeah,
So 17.
You think that few things could be worse than casting that.
Okay, so let's not do that. I don't want to actually melt his brain because
You
I
think
like
that
my
your dad
father.
would be aware that you've tried to alter his feelings on the subject, and you think that would be bad.
I would make him very upset.
Okay,
So.
new tactic. If this is all right. Just kind of be like, so, Dad, out of curiosity, I know that you're.
Who's your
feeling-
favorite? No, sorry.
I know you're feeling a lot of things right now. But is there any way you could teach me of how to bring their souls back? Like, if I can use some artificy way to restore them or to break them free of the prison they've been put in, anything I can do to bring back these cousins, or at least give them something more than what they have right now.
We must find the canary in the castle. We must get to the castle in Aesop Ward, defeat all members of the Fabled Coalition, grant you your humanity, and give me access to the puppet core.
There's a puppet core.
When I worked in the city a long time ago, before I was cruelly banished, I built a dynamo that acted as a central locus of power for the puppets. The truth is that there is a way to help your dark cousins, but it is the same way to help yourselves. I don't know if we can do it. The power of the Fabled Coalition has grown. I can sense it in the very air, thickened by mist as it is. But perhaps with the help of people like this mighty person, he looks towards Chione. Perhaps we can. I feel so numb, all the way through numb. Like I've been dipped underneath some lake of ice. I feel numb.
I
I
think
really want to give Dad a hug.
there could be something magical there, but at the same time, I have to say that it seems like the deepest source of your pain is the loss that you're suffering. That your magic, your creative magic, was turned into such a vile way. I have formed my mace Misery because I fell asleep. I'm Phelost. I fell asleep in the forest and I woke to find all of my dear brethren slaughtered by the hungry wolves. And I have assembled their corpses and every shred of their body left. And once I am done killing those that wronged me, I have a ritual to perform in the forest. Perhaps your puppet core will bring about some peace and will thaw that frozen lake within you. Perhaps that is the way.
Perhaps we can help each other. My children are terribly capable. You have seen that in the field. Perhaps it is the case that we can help you, and perhaps there must be some way to get past the police at the borders to this ward. Perhaps your organization can help us, can they?
Tonight, this very night, we had a mission planned to attack a venison delivery. You see, they've not only slaughtered my brethren, but they stockpiled their bodies and they're going to just feast on them. And we're going to distribute some of this meat and the rest will fuel my ritual.
I understand.
If we can stop this caravan, take it over, we have a pass through the city out of Red Riding's hood into another district.
He looks towards, there's a small map set with some instructions upon the wall of this hideout. He says, perhaps we can help with that. Children, would you be willing to help this Chione? And perhaps Chione can provide us with the means of heading deeper into the city to fulfill our goals.
If it makes you feel better, I'll kill every fucking person in this city, Dad.
Yep, I think that sounds about right. Except for the owlbear. Hey, you've got to get the owlbear before it turns into an owlbear.
Oh, that owlbear. I'm fucking her up next time.
That is the beast. She and Beauty are terribly formidable, but they shall need to fall before the end.
Okay. Yeah, we'll absolutely help Chione.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to kill everyone. We must kill the right people.
Okay.
This is my true path, but we must only kill the usurpers, those that have eaten more than their share.
Well, we're not killing innocent people.
So the fat people.
No. I think Chione just looks at you blankly. So at this point, okay. Chione, you would be able to guide the group towards where this is happening. This shipment is coming in from outside of the city and it's going to be brought in by, I believe it's by a coterie of gnolls.
And on the side of the van is the slogan, the better to taste you, my dear, It's a
That
venison.
is the case. That is true.
Yeah. No, I wrote that. This was my content here. This is my contribution. We need to make sure it's being. Yeah,
It's canon. It's canon.
it's on every slice of venison has that branded in there.
Oh, it's a little.
Yeah.
Okay, gang. It's going to be coming through Red Riding's Hood, and it's going to be moving through those some of the more cramped by streets on the way towards one of the city gates, leading towards one of the inner wards. I believe next to the Red Riding's Hood, at the very entrance to the city, which is on the opposite side to the sea. The wards that head in from that, I believe, are the Kipling and the I think, and the Irving. I'll check my map, but it's going to be the case that before it makes its way there, y'all are going to have an ambush. I think Chione is able to tell you that the gnolls, the creatures, hyena-like and dreadful that guard this thing, are quite formidable enemies that have with them a tusked charging animal as a guard, as well as, and they seem to be led by a figure called a gnome bone splitter, a hideous member of their clan who can cough up a kind of incentive blood for the pack. So Chione is kind of flush with useful information on that score. In terms of the ambush, each of you contribute an element to me. Give me a sense of KT, or actually perhaps we'll start with Chione. Chione, is the group attacking from below, same level, or above the caravan as it moves through the street?
All three.
Okay. That works. Okay. Going to wait for early morning or keep during nightfall?
As soon as the sun is setting, after our short rest, we're going to hit them immediately.
Yeah, I think nightfall makes sense as well. KT, I'll give you first choice from and Chione, you can Chione, you go first. Above, middle, or below? Same level or below? Which is your position of on the fight?
I'm above, and I will be in my animal form before it starts, just because I've got a cat form.
Yes.
So it's like a little tiny winter cat, like a bobcat, but like mini.
Okay.
Very good senses, and I've got dark vision, so I've got y'all covered.
Yes.
And I'm ready to spring my first spell, which should be pretty spicy.
Unfucking real. KT, where are you?
Somewhere with a distance, so I can cast from a distance. I have a pathological fear of fire, just in case.
Sewers, same level. Rooftops.
Oh, same level. Oh, rooftop.
Yeah, rooftop.
Oh, yeah, rooftop.
Okay, so we have same level and below now. So let's go to Silver. Below or same level?
Same level.
Okay. Which leaves Leonora.
I'm in the middle of the fucking room, my axe held high, ready.
I like the idea that you're underneath a sewer cover.
I'm just like, actually, yeah, I'm hiding under this
She
sewer.
can explode out of it. She's gonna be fantastic. I have like 2 weapons.
If my short rest, I actually got all my health points back, so I'm fucking ready.
So wait, would you prefer to be on the middle ground and I'll go sewers? Which would you prefer?
I just want to hit things.
They're more than likely not going to be in the sewers.
But she could explode up out of the sewers, right?
Tell you what, you go, because you're a piece of shit, you go to the sewer where you belong, Silver. I will be, there we go.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask a question,
Please.
Jack.
Please.
Is it possible for me to convene with Mary Little Lamb to see if there's anything she could do about the gnolls spitting up blood to incense the pack? Because there's a lot of she has a lot of experience with people spitting up things.
You would have lost track of her in the crowd, my friend.
That was unfortunate.
I've got some pretty good support stuff. We got this.
Cool.
Tight.
I'd like
I'm
to call up
excited.
Arnold. I saw where that fucker went. I went up high.
Yes.
I'm going to get Arnold, and he's going to be in the fucking sewers with me with his family because he pledged all of them.
Wow.
Feel like it's hard to find Arnold. Silver, you certainly have the sewers, the subterranean location of your ambush. Okay, when we go through combat here, we're going to start through the initial round. And once you've chosen where you go in that initial round, we'll keep that position going forward. The players are all going to go first, but once you pick which order you are, you're going to keep that going into future rounds just for the sake of speed. The villains are going to go after your initial ambush round. They'll get their reactions. So whoever wishes to, here's what you see. Through the cloying milk white mist, comes this enormous cart emblazoned with that insignia of the haunch of venison, and exactly as Chione described, the better to taste you with, my dear, in sort of inverted commas, a hideously kind of jovial slogan for these, and the smell of the meat coming through the small cracks in the carriage, seeming to almost add that same air of preluding panic to festivities. You can see what look like the hunched, almost initially apish, but too twisted in their hyena-like forms, the tufts of fur, almost like the corkscrewed hair of some escaped asylum patients. These elongated muzzles and the chittering, almost squawksome laughter of the creatures, the gnomes themselves, as they bray together in their bemused bickerings. At this point, as they come forward, leading one another, leading the cart, we have the first round of ambush. You can see that one figure is streaked with blood all down his right side, actually coming into the fur. It's either, it definitely is anointed blood down one side of the gnoll's face and body, and he carries a hideous weapon at his side. My friends, who is going to go first in this array?
I have a question first. Okay, so all of these people in this caravan, they're bad. We want to get rid of these people and get the stuff in the caravan, correct?
Indeed, that seems to be Chione's goal here, is to destroy the gnolls and to they're more kind of monstrous than people, but certainly to liberate the venison.
Secondly, is anybody that we care about within a 20-foot radius of like the middle of this procession?
No, actually, no. Why?
Because at level 5, I got Arms of Hadar.
Oh,
sorry, not Arms, Hunger of Hadar.
Oh, shit.
Which has a 150-foot radius and a 20-foot radius where I target it within that range.
Radius and 150-foot range. Got you.
Yeah.
Do AoE as well.
Yeah.
Good.
Also,
so I want to like.
Hunger of Hadar does darkness as well. It obscures the space, and so
yes, it does. So no magic, no light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate the area, and creatures fully within the area are blinded.
Might be the case, Etienne, that you want to go at the end then, because other people can then see what they're doing, and then you can do your thing, right?
Yeah, as long as none of us Lenora move into the range. I don't want.
Oh, so it might be the case that Leonora might go first, depending on how Rachel feels about the situation.
Yeah, I just don't want to hit anybody I give a shit about.
Yeah, of course. And who wishes to go first?
I was going to ask another question. Since we're in ambush, pass without a trace isn't going to really have much benefit, right?
Don't you worry. You are considered completely stealthed, and it's the case that your attacks will have certain bonuses.
Okay. I have another AoE-ish thing so I should go right before Etienne.
Got you. Okay. So you don't want to go first? Okay.
I can go first just because it'll be cinematic.
Do it.
Be cinematic.
And my little cat form is looking there, and with the loathing that only a feline can summon, I just stare down at the caravan, and I sniff the screams and the harrowing deaths of my dear siblings. I didn't even mean that one.
You got it.
It happened again. and I burst up into my normal humanoid form, and I cast Moonbeam, and I say, "Frost and evergales scorch thy skin. No
How many points?
beast, choke on your venison and die." And I cast Moonbeam.
Okay, Rose, let me tell you a little bit about the array of these things. We've got 5 of the minor marauders, we've got the big bone splitter, and we have this large tusked figure out in front of the knolls itself. The moonbeam has a pretty big radius, but you're only going to be hit. You're only going to be able to hit 2 of the targets. Who are you going to hit initially?
2. Oh, it's a 5-foot radius. My bad.
That's exactly right.
I'm gonna hit the people in the front, the 2 in the front.
Okay, so that would be the leader and the tusked creature. I believe that's a dexterity saving throw on my part.
Constitution saving throw.
Constitution, thank you, Rose. That is a natural 1 and a 14, which becomes a 19. So that's 1 success and 1 failure. Roll damage.
Okay, 2d10.
Even when they're surprised, they get the saving stuff.
I will roll with disadvantage. Thank you, Brian. That is 2 natural 1s. Roll full damage.
Full damage.
Oh, yeah.
Got 8 and 7, 15.
15. What does it look like as the moon comes piercing down?
Oh, and half as much on successful. So 15 and just say 7, I guess. 7 or 8. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I got you.
What does it look like?
Yeah.
2 shafts of pale moonlight go down, and as it touches their skin, frost spreads across it, and it burns. It sizzles silver and blue.
Oh, hell yes. It is whoever is. So that ends the druid's turn, and a hell of a start with the moon now coming. In fact, we have 2 pillars of moonlight, one from the arcane source, one from the natural source, a kind of a dual lunar effect. How fabulous. Who's next?
So just because of how cinematic that was,
Yeah.
I think we need to go to the opposite end of the spectrum,
Yes.
where we literally just see a hand coming out of a grate and like positioning this like little like stone shaped like a bullet, and it's like, okay, there, and then I just cast catapult.
Who are you aiming for?
So I'm probably going to go with the leader, and I just want to like aim right between the eyes.
Dexterity saving throw.
So it's a Dex 14.
It's 12. You roll full damage.
So that is going to be 20. 48.
What does that? So this is the guy who's half grimed in blood, my friend, in that ceremonial blood. And what does it look like as your attack hits?
I have no idea because
Okay.
I'm in the sewers.
You're in the sewers. So here's what you...
what I'm probably going to do is just like, or no, actually, it's like trying to look out, and then I just literally take Jasper, my little dragon,
Yes.
that I'm V-spawn, and like I hold him out and be like, what does it look like? And from what he's interpreted, it's like there's a lot of blood and the screaming, and like there's now a hole. It didn't quite hit his head, but there's a hole somewhere. Blood. I want to go back inside. That's the.
Do you let Jasper back in?
Of course.
Kind of curls around you. At this point, it is so that is Silver. Who's next?
Me. So
Oh,
because
really?
I don't want to get it, so I Leonora Jenkins it. So now I'm big. But I'm going to take.
You better retreat afterwards.
I have a plan. I've
Okay.
already rolled. I have 2 hand axes. So which probably look comically small in my very big hands. And I throw both of them. Both of them hit. I got I'm assuming I got a dirty 21 on one of them, and I got a 17 on the other.
Who are you aiming at?
Leader boy.
Oh yes. Well, those. Hold on. Sorry, that was a 17 and what?
17 and a 21.
Yeah, you're good.
And because I have crushing throw, that means I get a +2 to any thrown damage
Oh shit.
when I am raging. And it's only a d6 with the hand axe, but adding everything, I got 9 with one and 11 points of damage with the other. So I do
Holy hell.
total to the leader.
What an opening! And the two axes sink in. Leonora, as you send them around, as they sink in, you can watch as over on a distant ledge, you watch as Etienne gives you the nod and begins to cast. You did full damage, by the way. The creature has no resistances whatsoever. Holy crap. A lot of damage on this guy in the first round. Etienne, what you up to?
Okay, so I'm casting. Okay, so she's definitely you're out of the way, right?
I'm
Lenore?
nowhere near. I'm nowhere near. Don't
Okay,
worry.
good. Okay, so I'm casting Hunger of Hadar or Hadar, or the fuck you say it. On did you say I should cast it on the back or in the middle?
You can cast it on the middle, and it will sort of move around the carriage towards the
Yep.
creatures themselves.
And it's it's this like cacophony of whispers and slurping noises. And as I cast it, I'm gonna scream out tentacle acid damage because that's what it is.
Oh,
Very
God.
literal.
We're too anime now. no more anime.
I'm sorry.
No more.
This is perfect. This is the perfect amount of anime.
Fiona, you started this.
Okay, so any creature that starts its turn in the area is going to take a cold damage. And any creature that ends its turn in the area has to succeed on a dexterity throw.
Okay, well, 6 creatures are going to start there. So go ahead and roll your damage, and I'll just apply it as it goes.
Okay.
So that is 1 failure, 2 failure, 1 success.
10, but the cold damage, cold damage didn't say it needed a dexterity saving throw.
The dexterity saving throw is keyed into the actual spell itself.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Okay, so my first was 10. Oh, my second is 10 in a different way.
KT, you just roll once.
It was 10.
10 points and 3. Is it half damage on a success?
Hunger. No, it says the void creature warps in the fabric of space, blah blah blah. Any creature that starts its turn takes 2d6 of cold damage. Any creature that ends its turn must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 of acid damage as milky otherworldly tentacles rub against it.
No, KT, you actually got that completely right. They all take 10 damage, so that deals 60 points of damage this time. Holy shit! As there's a moment where the whispers and slurping sounds emitting from this thing as the Hunger of Hadar moves in its eldritch quality over the creatures. And from their depths comes the leader. He moves forwards towards you, Leonora, at this hideous loping gait, his head cocked cataclysmically to one side, his long hyena leg slanted, and the blood running down that side, your 2 axes embedded, the moonlight still trailing over him. Swings towards you. So that is 3 attacks. 1, 2. That is with the spiked flail. That is against you. That is a 23 and a 17. Do those hit?
The 7. It's like if you hit it.
Yes.
So my AC is
yes,
17.
indeed.
Is that hit?
Yes.
Fuck. Yeah, both hit.
Excellent. So that is 26 points of piercing damage reduced to 13. The creature then.
Rating. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. The creature then opens its mouth and lets out this hideous, baleful war cry, and the rest of the creatures come snickering and chuckling out, filtering. Some of them climbing up towards the spellcasters, and one of them you watch opening the drain and beckoning towards you can't see a lot of that because you can't see the sewer grate anymore because it's covered by the obscured Hunger of Hadar. But Silver, you could see the sewage thing being lifted up, and you can hear heavy footsteps moving towards you. At this point, the creatures are going to make athletics checks to see if they can reach you. So Chione and Etienne, you can see that the 5 marauders, these weaker gnolls, are actually all successfully clambering up, and they are adjacent to you. That takes their entire turn, but they are right next to you. This huge, hideous creature is going to gore down into the sewer system with its, it has disadvantage on its attack roll because Silver is completely, is half obscured. That is still 21 versus AC Silver.
Just saying, I had blinded everybody in that thing.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we knew that.
Oh, in which case, oh yeah, sorry, I have disadvantage anyway. That's fine.
Okay.
So Silver,
So disadvantage and 21.
it has a +9.
Yeah, I guess that hits.
Okay, you take 19 points of piercing damage, and you can make a choice. Either you're skewered, you can actually make a choice. Either you're skewered by that damage, or Jasper is.
So I'd like to use
Jasper.
silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs conveys disadvantage, doesn't it?
Yes, one reaction when a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself succeeds on an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw.
Oh,
So
that's good.
Distract the triggering creature, turn its
Technically, it's not even disadvantage. It's just an additional roll. Nicely done. That is a 22.
You have to use the lower one.
21. 21.
Okay.
Yes.
How many hit points does Jasper have?
Right.
Jasper has 5 hit points.
Okay.
Fuck that.
So on the plus side, I'm able to give myself advantage on the next turn if I survive.
Excellent.
So that's a positive.
My friend, down here in the fetid reek of the sewage system, the slight sound of the morass of stink moving past you, this huge bone white ivory tusk comes down through, and the other one plows through the actual cobblestones, poking down into the depths. These two huge ivory tusks, one of them piercing you for 19 points. Is Silver okay? Is he up?
Yeah, this got through a manhole cover. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That's fine. I'm not telling you how many hit points I have. You were like, oh, Brian's too healthy.
Excellent.
No.
Okay, my friends, it is back to your turn. And who was first? I believe that was Chuirc, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to ask too. We did the short rest, right?
Oh yeah,
And that was 4d8 plus con.
that's indeed right. Con to each, plus con to each of the rolls.
Got you. And
Question about the positioning first for all of us, including
Okay.
Chione.
Did you ask a question? I have one more too when you're done. Sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to know like where people are positioned so you can also like see the layout of.
Oh, I kind of know where everyone's at, I think.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, but we short rest. We didn't refresh our spell slots.
Not in terms of the druid spells, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Artificers just asking for a friend.
Artificers do not regenerate.
Yeah,
Apologies.
I knew that. The friend's such an idiot.
I believe in you guys.
Okay. I wish I could ask Katie a question. I'm going to do conjure animals. That should be fun.
Okay.
I'm going to conjure 8 weak ones.
Okay.
8 of quarter rating.
Okay.
And I'm going to conjure them to appear in the middle of the road and charge the head of the caravan.
So I know the stats for a number of those beasts kind of in my noodle. So let me know what kind of creatures you're summoning, and we can just take the roll from there.
I have to go pure flavor. They're deer. They're elk.
Yes, with the full antlered array. Okay. Are they on the roof with you?
No. I cast them in the middle of the road.
Okay, down in the Hunger of Hadar.
Yes. No, right before it. They're about to charge in. I don't think they get to attack on my turn, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I think
I'm not sure.
it only lasts one turn, right?
No, they last a little longer, and indeed they can attack you. However, Rose, Chione would know that the only 2 creatures down there are the big tusky boy and the boss creature, the mini boss creature, shall we say. Is that sufficient? Are you okay with that?
I'm Silver.
I'm not going to be on the roof much longer. So yeah.
You got it. So as you summon these creatures, they form up and just pure astral creatures shimmer with your magic. And is it the case that you'd like to move? You have 2 gnolls adjacent to you.
Yeah, I'm going to use face step and drop down behind my horde. So I'll be
that you have face step.
right, bitch. It should be just enough to get me there.
It is indeed 30 feet. And yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. What does it look like when you step up? As the gnolls are like snickering and moving towards you with that amused glint in their eyes.
I sneeze in spite and just shoot like frost in their face and go, "Cha!" And then I'm gone. Yeah.
And you watch as they claw up, and you're just, and when they take their paws away, you're just gone. And what will the elk do?
The elk roll as their own group, so probably after we're done. No.
No, I'm actually happy for them to go on your turn. It's the case that just for the cinematic puissance of it. Plus, this fight is pretty difficult. So you guys can you can absolutely have them charge, and we'll roll a single dice, and I'll conglomerate their damage. Where are you aiming them?
I want them to attack the leader because he's fucking kind of crazy.
Got you. Going to go for the leader who's attacking Leonora. Yes. Okay. The tusked creature is going to get an attack of opportunity on one of them. I don't think it's going to matter. There's a lot of them. It's a fucking one. Good job, Jack. And so the creature, you hear something swinging there in the dark, but no connection is made. Roll a single dice and add +8 to it, Rose.
Roll a d20.
Yeah, roll a d20 and add +8.
16, so 24.
24 hits. Go ahead and roll. What is the elk? Stag's probably 1d6 plus. So this would be, roll 8d6.
Holy shit. 8 d6s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 6.
Jesus Christ.
6, 19, 25, and then 3, so 28. I rolled 3 6s. It's kind of
so, Chione, as you order these elk through the dark, you hear the stampede of their hooves, and then there is silence, and then there is a sound that can only be described as a butcher's block, all slabbed and filled with fresh meat, being skewered. As Leonora, in front of you, you see this thing moving, loping, swinging its spiked flail. One of its ears twitches. It looks around, the bloody side blocked from you. You watch as a stampede of elk comes slashing in, raking across its body as they move past. It's Mufasa with the wildebeest. They just wreck his house. He is looking very bad off, but still alive, but seriously wounded. Does that end your turn, Chione?
I did miscalculate. It's at least 26. I think it was 8 of them, right?
Yeah.
I got 3 6s, 2 3s, and a 2. So I don't.
18, 18, 24, 26. That is indeed. But I can amend that very easily. That's perfect. So at this point, it is who was next in that order? I believe.
I end my turn on a.
Yeah. Feline fury. Hell yes. And a fabulous turn at that. It is Silver.
Okay, so
Oh, Silver, make an intelligence check. I kind of want to volleyball up for you to smack it down.
intelligence.
Be a natural one. Be a natural one.
19.
You monster.
19.
Silver, the brutish braying of this thing, hideous as its breath comes coalescing into the fetid dark of the sewage system. It's so savage in its quality as it scrapes through, dragging the tusks out. There is in its movement, in the harsh guttural sound of its breath, you recognize pure, almost jungle kind of sensibilities. This creature is barely tamed by these monstrous masters of the gnolls. You think that there is a possibility that you could effect some sort of change in behavior to this creature, and should it be panic, should it be ferocity in terms of rage, okay. You think you could, but it would depend on how you did it.
Perfect. So just kind of like look at Jasper and be like, see how I took that hit? It's your turn, buddy. I would like to use my listen. You can't see this. You're up above ground. Okay. So
I just sense it. I just sense you're being a shit
So I would
somewhere.
like to use thaumaturgy for booming voice on Jasper to create a dragon's roar.
Okay.
So my thought here is that if we look like we are the natural predator rather than him,
Yeah.
then it might just, you know what? I should probably switch sides.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and make an intimidation check. And you can use your character's intimidation with this. Yes, I'm fine with that. Okay.
He stands for nat 20 plus 4. Sorry. It's the
Okay.
D&D Beyond. And I'm like, what does the B mean? I'm like, please don't be a 1.
Okay. We shall see the results of that. Does that end your turn?
So that depends. Do you want me to you know what?
Mhm.
I think that it does not, like, I can't do 2 cantrips in a turn, can I?
Not unless they're bonus action, unfortunately.
No, they're not. Then what I would probably do is yeah, I'd probably end up just trying to like add to it a little bit with performance.
Okay.
And just kind of being like, you know, like laughing alongside Jasper's laugh.
Okay.
Really kind of like, you know, but because I've heard like the Knolls laughing and stuff,
Yes.
so I'm going to go with a much more guttural, as in the.
Yeah.
So it's just like dragon and this, just to, you know.
I think, Brian, first of all, take a D8 inspiration dice for committing, and then second of all, I think it's the case that it's a natural 20. I can't make that any better, but make a performance check. I'll see if I can do something to it.
I'd like to use one of my gingerbread rolls
Okay, you can do so.
for the exact same result. I'm using another gingerbread roll.
I love the
30
idea.
20.
I love the idea that someone is paying attention to this episode for the first time, and they're like, turn around to whoever they're with. What in fuck's name is a gingerbread roll?
Hey, I absorbed the skull of the Don Bartolo the baker man who made the gingerbread man. Okay? We freed the salamander from the oven. Keep up.
there's pages of lore.
So, at this point, yes, Brian, with the inspiration. So, as Silver's laughter moves like crooked thunder throughout the battlefield, I think we are next with, and with a draconic twist to it as well, with Jasper. I think we're now Leonora. Oh dear God.
Yes, we are, and she's already rolled. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for ages. Okay, I'm so excited. Okay, so it's big bad leader, dude.
Yes.
I rolled a fucking natural 20 on my first.
Oh shit.
Okay, I then rolled damage. I did 28 fucking points of damage.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
On your first hit?
On my first hit. I've
Okay.
been so excited. Why do you think I've been so excited to go?
Okay, so Leonora, as the figure has been rent apart by the skewering lances of the elk, its body is actually almost completely bowed, and the flail is hanging limp in its hyena paw. And as it looks up towards you, like this tendril of drool comes plunging between the two front teeth, and as it looks up towards you, it's still. But its laughter has taken on a desperate quality. How do you want to kill it?
I cut off its fucking head.
Just.
Yeah.
I think its face still stretched in that hideous skull-like grin. The head comes toppling and rolls directly to your feet. You still have another attack.
Yes. There's the whipper tusk thing is in front of me, right?
Currently can't see it, but you know that it's in there for sure.
Can I just go in? Swinging?
That is true. You would have to attack with disadvantage
That's
because
fine.
you're blind.
That's all
Okay,
right.
good.
Yeah,
But
that's
like,
fine.
did you not hear the bestial roar of a dragon and a maniacal laugh, and your first instinct is, I should go in there.
I feel like that's on brand.
Cool. Have fun. Have fun. Yep. Wanted to make a new friend. Tusky boy was going to be our friend, and now you're going to kill it. Have fun. Enjoy.
Well, I'm just running into. Well, it's not going well because I rolled with disadvantage and I got a 5 and a 2. So
In terms of its AC, that is not going to cut it.
Well, so sorry, that's an 8 and a 5. I got so much better with my strength modifier. But
Please,
no, Jim's so great.
As you run towards this thing, you for a moment think, why do I smell shit? And you find your leg plunging through the manhole cover, and your second leg through the gourd cover. So now Leonora is sort of with the cover right between her legs. She is currently pinned there. But Leonora and looming up over you, carving through the mist and the sort of clotted darkness of the Hunger of Hadar, are these huge tusks that you can barely make out. Does that end your turn?
Yeah, I love it. She goes from being an absolute fucking Xena warrior princess badass for a brief, beautiful moment, and the next she's just Leonora. Yeah, okay, she's just Leonora.
Silver, from below, as your laughter pushes and pushes out a dread cacophony, you thump thump. You see two legs plop down towards the sewer, the feet vaguely wiggling. At this point, you recognize your sister's shoes. At this point, it is Etienne.
Okay, so the little dudes who climbed up, are they all really in close proximity to each other?
The three that are close to you are within 5 feet of one another, and they're currently surrounding you. The two who dodged away from who Chione escaped are also tightly packed, but the 5 are not together, if you see what I mean.
Okay, so the 5 aren't together. Well, that fucking sucks. But how close are they to me? Like if they're around me, but
in proximity, adjacent.
In proximity, adjacent. Okay, just give me a second. Give me a second because I actually have to redo something now.
Okay.
Okay, then I'm going to use my first level conjuration and cast Arms of Hadar. On the little, because it's within 10 feet of me.
Okay. Is Arms of Hadar concentration?
No.
Then you're good. What does that do? Tell me. What does it
look like? So lots of shadowy tendrils of dark energy erupt from me, and kind of like smack the fuck out of the little shits surrounding me. And they need to make a strength saving throw, which won't be hard with me.
Strength saving throw. These creatures are considerably stronger than your average fare. However, Jack is having a really bad rolling night. My highest roll is a 12. Do I succeed?
Oh, well, it goes on my strength, right? So yeah.
No, it goes on your spell save DC always.
Oh.
Which is your intelligence. I think it's your charisma modifier plus 10.
So 13.
So I failed completely. Well done, KT.
Oh yay! 2d6 each. Okay, so Arms of Hadar is 2d6 necrotic damage.
Oh my god.
And can't take reactions until next turn.
Go ahead and roll those 2d6.
Okay. 11.
Oh, they can't take reactions?
Yep.
That's gonna hurt.
On a failed save, a target takes 2d6 necrotic damage and can't take reactions until its next turn.
What'd you get on those 2d6?
11.
Nice. Okay. Here's what happens. Okay. Leonora, those swooping tusks. The creature utters a sound, a kind of warbling cry that has nothing of its former ferocity. And as it swoops away from you, because you are right where the source of that sound was emitting, it charges. And as in it's trying to flee, but where it charges toward is the side of the building that Etienne and Chione were on. As the creature impacts that wall, it stuns itself. And Brian, this is what you would refer to as a glass cannon. The creature has very few hit points, so I'm going to resolve A. As the creature cracks itself, you can hear the sound of its skull splitting, a distinct, almost walnut-like crack in the ensuing silence. And you watch as the structure begins to move to the side, to cant. Etienne, your footing loose. Etienne, you get a reaction to dodge as that side of the building comes toppling down with all 5 gnolls with it. Silver, go ahead and roll some fall damage for your thing. That is going to be 3d10 to all of these marauders. And Etienne, I need a dex saving throw.
That
got this.
is 22. And I'm a 6 and a 7.
Oh, no.
A what saving throw?
Dexterity.
Oh, okay. I got 14. Do I do plus my 2?
Yeah, 16.
So 15.
15 is what you needed to succeed. Etienne, as you wrap your arms around what looks like a support pillar in this structure, as it poorly made in Red Riding Hood, these buildings, it slants to the side, a whole area of it crumbling. As these creatures emit their shrieks as they fall, Silver, you can hear the distant sounds of them splatting upon the pavement. You heard that crack, that massive, colossal crack, and now as the splats come to you, you can picture in your mind, your brilliant artificer mind, exactly what has happened, and you know that you have been successful. You could see Chione as the rubble emits its great puffs, its almost mushroom cloud of debris misting up and coagulating into the mist above. You see one of the creatures twitch and then go still as the darkness of Hadar fades to a single point, moving, its necrotic energy diminishing. You look around and you can see the corpses of the coterie of gnolls, and you can see Leonora moving up out of the position and perhaps hoisting Silver out, or perhaps not, and Etienne holding desperately to this thing above. But my friends, you're victorious. That was a hell of a way to end the fight.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We fucking rocked it.
Ryan's
We
natural
rolled it
20 resulted in a creature that naturally has 80 hit points, delivering a concussive blow to itself that took it out, and his dirty 20 afterwards just sealed that for me. So that was a brilliant stroke, and you all crushed it there. My friends, I'm aware that we are running out of time, so let us move in kind of vignettes, right? Let's see a few pictures of the ending here. We need to see Chione's ritual. We need to see, and Chione, I assume you're going to bring these folks to meet a particular someone in your organization. Perhaps the leader might be able to get them through to the other side, get them passes. But first, we need to do your ritual. So, Chione, lead us through this ending. What does this look like for you? And how do you introduce the gang to your leader, who's going to bring them into the next leg of their journey?
Okay. Well, there's going to be 2 parts to the ritual. One that's going to be off screen and or later if y'all want to indulge me for some reason.
Let's do both. We need to see this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Please.
Well, okay, but then I'll have to manipulate time, because how do we get back to the forest real quick?
Oh, in other words, is it the case that the forest is outside of the city?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
the one.
okay. So here's what we'll do, Rose. I love that. Okay, so we're going to do the first part here, and then after the players are introduced to your leader, we can have you head off, and we'll finish with that scene of what becomes of Chione for now, and then perhaps she'll reappear again at some later point. But first, talk to me about that ritual. How does it start?
Okay, it starts with her retrieving a single small piece of venison, just a modest chunk of flesh, if you will. And which one of our enemies bled the most?
Oh, that would be the Bone Splitter, ravaged by Elk, Leonora, and Magix aplenty.
So I'm gonna douse or dabble it all in that blood and lay it on the ground, and I'm going to use one more moonbeam to ignite it. Yeah, it'll burn there, and all that does is begin the ritual. The rest of the meat needs to be distributed, and another small parcel will be going back with me to the forest, along with a small collection of sacred antlers that I found in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
as Chione does this, in the silence, you can hear what sounds like, as soon as Chione stores away this piece for later, and you watch as, coming out of the mist, at her signal, several members of the Forgotten Eighth taking parcels of the venison and then melting back into the mist to redistribute it to those who need it in these desperate times. As they lead you, as Chione leads you with promises of a pass into the sewer system, following down where Silver had taken his space, you find your way past that fungal reek of the deep sewers. You know, those little pockets of strange, nasty looking mushrooms, their bells seeming to promise a kind of a shimmering fungal dust that might induce some hideous poison. As Chione guides you around these awful mushroom thickets, you watch as the masonry of the sewer is replaced with older, crooked fitting shapes of stone. A sewer under a sewer, a sense of descending, and the smell left behind. You can see what looks like larger structures that form a kind of strange foundation, a city under the city, and each of which are decorated with small signs, some of which Chione passes a hand over. You can see some of them glowing, some of them remain still. Alarm systems, directional, you've no idea what they're doing, but they're leading you somewhere. And as they head forward, you follow, and you eventually come to the wide mouth of an area, and you can see what looks like beyond a series, quite a large, what looks like a kind of a forum, what looks like a series of pillars moving up towards the ceiling. You can see moss and elements of creeper ivy hanging down, twisted with ribbon, some similar symbols marked into the masonry down here. And Chione leaves you here with the promise that ahead, as you go deeper, you will meet the Forgotten Eighth, and you will meet the head of their organization, and they will be able to help you. But this is the last moment you'll have with Chione. So would you like to have a goodbye here? And then we'll cut to that last scene.
Am I saying goodbye first?
Should you wish to? Should you? Maybe it's the case that the players should.
I've grown attached. I like Chione.
Yeah, as you, me too.
Especially in kitty form.
And what would you players like to say? And then Chione will have the last word.
I think Leonora would go up to her, stick her hand out, and say, "You fucked some shit up." And that was beautiful. And shake her hand.
I'd like to go up and just be like, I have absolutely no idea what you did, and if you were useful in any way or form as I was in the sewers.
Ridiculous.
But like, Leonora loves everyone, so I wouldn't put any weight behind that. But if Etienne thinks it went well, that's a good sign. Molotov's probably not wise, but you know, we all make mistakes.
God damn it.
But you know, thanks for like the blanket for father, I guess.
Well, I really appreciate you being with me on top of that really high building when we attacked those fuckers. Thank you. You helped give me courage.
Yes.
I think you are wonderful.
I pointedly turned my back away from Silver, and other than leading you to a safe house and giving you information on how to set up the perfect ambush and blasting everyone with Moonbeam and awesome
and setting a stampede.
Yeah. Like, other than all that, I mostly just connected with Etienne and Leonora. I'm so glad that you two. That was really great. Also, the
We
dragon.
love you, Chione.
So I really like your dragon, Jasper. Is wonderful.
Yeah, he doesn't
Bathe in the blood
understand
of our
you.
enemies. I will happily return later and murder anytime y'all want to murder things.
We would love you to come and murder stuff with us. We think it would be fun.
Geppetto offers his hand, his gnarled old hand, and his touch is warm and grateful. And yours, should you accept? My son and my daughters are all very different. But you should know that I love them with more than just my heart, with my whole being. And you
Well,
helped.
that's
You
we
helped.
shouldn't be going back there, Dad.
Etienne, I still love you. And he turns to you, Chione, and says, I'm very grateful. Coming back to the city has been hard. You have made the welcome not so. You made my time a softer and better one. Thank you for keeping my children safe.
Of course.
Yeah. The Eladrin flash. I like the idea that happens. You're still there, and then you do actually magic away.
I meant bye.
Yes.
No, I fade link 30 feet away and then go, fuck. And then I run down to try and turn around the path so I can finish my exit.
As my friends, as you move to meet the Forgotten Eighth, whoever that is who runs this rebellious organization, as you have been introduced to the city of Tegeste Lipo, we now zoom out. And as we do so, we can see a distant forest that has been hurt in some ways fundamental. And we can see Chione, the figure who teleported slightly away, cursed it, and then actually went away, appearing now, sometime later, who knows how long. And what do we see?
I'll just flash forward into the heart of the ritual where there's the last few pieces of venison burning, and there's a small but eager herd of deer prancing around. There's moonbeams and frosts going everywhere, and with the consumption of the last of the venison, the wombs and the seed of the deer are blessed, and the next generation of deer will be bounteous.
And with that, and with thoughts of the wilderness filtering into you and you into it, that beautiful bucolic harmony, Chione, and perhaps your mind will move past, zooming back towards those fellows you left, those puppets and their father, back in the city. They had no idea what they were in for. And with that, we will end our session. Rose, thank you so much.
That was awesome. What an awesome character.
Y'all are fucking cool.
You do the description so well.
Oh my God, unreal.
I'm like going to try and emanate you in the future because that was awesome.
Jack, Jesus Christ.
Oh, dude, right?
You crushed it. Thank you so much for being a guest. You were phenomenal. Thank you.
That was awesome.
Really.
And thanks for bearing with me. I had a small panic attack and had to join late, so that was great.
It was so fine. It worked perfectly the way it lined up. We're going to do a sort of a farewell from all of us. Make sure and tell and by the way, audience, thank you so much for tuning in across your different platforms, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Thank you, really.
Thanks,
Stephen. Thank you.
Hey, Stephen.
It's the case that and thank you as well to Geneva for orchestrating all of the technical elements of the show. It wouldn't be possible without her. But let's go one by one through our wonderful people and tell us who you are, where you can be found on social media, what you're working on or have just released. Please tell the people. And we should start with our wonderful guest. Rose, take us off.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm Rose Reynolds. I write under TJ Reynolds and Atlas Kane if you want slutty stuff. I just released First Fist 2, Confluence of pretty rad. And I'm working on Remnant Mage, which is not a necromancer. It's as close to necromancer as I could get without. There's no rotting flesh. It's remnant. Remnants are happening. It's like ethereal magic leftovers are being worked with. So it's going to be rad. That's going to come out at the end of this year.
Everything you write is rad. So
yeah, that's the thing. And like such a marvelous response to your work throughout the community, so visible, and Rose truly a master at work, and everyone kind of can see that certainly, and that's the discourse in the community, and it's true as well. Thank you for being a part of this, and let's move on to our our regular stars. And perhaps we'll go reverse order. Let's start with Brian J. Nordon, Esquire.
So, no Esquire, thank you very much. But yeah, no, it was. I'm Brian. I write Quest Academy.
Yes.
Book 2 is out on Amazon. Book 3 is coming out in October. Book 3 is already written and available on the Patreon. Book 4 up to chapter 10 is released on the Patreon. And by all accounts, Book 3 is the best of the trilogy so far, which is great. But yeah, I am starting edits tomorrow because I've been jet lagged fuck for Book 3. So yeah, look forward to all of that. You can see me on Patreon, on Amazon, and if you look hard enough, you'll find me on Royal Road with the wild cards. Don't read it. I didn't know how to write back then. But yeah, that's me.
You're amazing, Brian. Thank you for being silver again this week. Yeah, I loved every minute. so good. Let's go for, I think, was it reverse order? Then it would be Rachel Chuirc herself, Esquire.
I am Esquire. Thank you. Thank you for having me. So yeah, my name is Rachel Chuirc. So my first book, Calamity, that's what I was running to get. My first book, Calamity, is already out, and my second book, Desecrate, the sequel, is coming out next month. By the time we have our next session, this will be out on paperback, ebook, audio, narrated by the absolute fabulous Andrea Parsons. And this is a much, much better book. Like, I was already really proud of the first book. The pacing, the characters, there's so much you find out about Zara the Fury, the main villain, and it's a blast, if I do say so myself. So yeah, that's coming out next month.
Doubtless, it is a blast. And oh my God, if it's better than book 1, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel. Awesome. Thank you for bringing Leonore to life again. So good. Let's go for the marvelous Katie. Hanna, wind us out.
So you might know me. My name's Katie Hanna. It's right there. See on the screen. You might know me from books such as Somnia Online, complete series, 7 books. And my most recent one is Library System Reset Overdue, which is still doing pretty well out there. I can be found on Patreon, and I'm about 8 chapters from finishing book 3 on there. Book 2 is already done, and I think Andrea's almost finished with narrating it. Book 2 comes out on October 15th on audio, but September 10th an ebook. And then book 3 will come out on November 19th. So you'll have all the books. Book 2 is better than book 1, just so you know. Yeah, you can find me on Patreon. You can find me on Royal Road. I took my old stuff down. I learned. And yeah, I'm just writing Library System Reset. It's probably got another 3 books, probably 6 in total. And I have another few ideas that I'm working on. So, and everybody here rocks. Now Jack needs to talk about himself.
Okay. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for Etienne. Fabulous as always. Yes, I'm Jack Fields. I was the Dungeon Master, Fable Master for this session, and I was lucky enough to run for this wonderful group of people. My novel, we have to do the shameless plug, don't we? It's the Scarlet Citadel. It came out earlier this summer, and its sequel, Scarlet Blade, is going to be edited soon, and I'm very proud of that one. Scarlet Citadel is going to be narrated by Neil Helligers and Tess Irondale. That audiobook is coming down the line, and date to be settled soon. And yeah, I'm proud of Scarlet Citadel. It's a story that that sort of blazed out of me happily, and I'm very proud of it. And certainly the reception has been incredibly wonderful, and I appreciate all the wonderful words people have said. But yeah. Awesome. Unreal. That session made me really happy, if I'm being honest. I was like, is this going to be, because we're going to get to the city finally. So I was really nervous, but you all just made it easy. Thank you. And thank you to Rose as well, in particular for being our guest star, first one in the city. But yeah, that winds us up. Gang, thank you so much. And oh yeah, I suppose I should mention as well, you can find more about Last Sunday Squad on Facebook. You can find me, Jack Fields, author, and you can find the rest of our wonderful authors on their social media. And thank you to the viewers, thank you to Legion Publishers, and yeah, hell yeah, thank you. Peace. See you soon. Bye.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
royal wave.
Wave,
Just-
wave,
just